Thank you, Reese. This is one of the great places in sports, from the checkerboard end zones to the standing room only crowds of over 100,000. Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee, where tonight the Volunteers will be fighting for their SEC lives against the number 16 team in the country, the Gamecocks of South Carolina. College football primetime on ESPN is brought to you by Hampton Hotels. The SEC East is the biggest jumble in college football. All 6 teams in this division have 2 or 3 losses, and everybody in it is still alive. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Todd Blackledge. It's great to have you with us. As you just saw, this division is still wide open, and considering what happened to both of these teams last week, number one, it's amazing that they're still alive, and number 2, they control their own destiny.
Don't you love college football?
Oh, this is great.
It's been a great year. I watched both games from last week. I don't know who looked worse, whether it was Tennessee struggling on the road, getting thumped by their arch rival Alabama, or South Carolina not scoring an offensive touchdown and getting beat at home by Vanderbilt. But it doesn't matter, because right now, as you mentioned, they both control their own destiny. This game tonight becomes extra huge, and a trip to Atlanta in the SEC Championship is on the radar for both teams.
And what a remarkable matchup. Eric Ainge, who is quietly having a great season, the quarterback for Tennessee, against the best pass defense in all of college football.
Yeah, Eric Ainge has really grown under David Cutcliffe, his coordinator. He's 6'6". Cutcliffe coached 2 guys similar to this stature-wise, Peyton and Eli Manning. He's grown in his understanding of defenses, and it's causing him to get rid of the football quick. He knows what's going on. He's only been sacked once. He's only thrown 4 interceptions compared to 13 touchdowns. Now, he'll be paying the special attention to a pair of talented sophomores for South Carolina. Eric Norwood, a defensive end who lines up all over the place, and Emmanuel Cook, the strong safety, is a tackling machine. Tennessee will be aware of these 2 guys every time they snap the football.
All right, Todd, another huge sellout crowd here in Knoxville, and the pride of the Southland Band forming the T down on the field, and the Volunteers are ready to come out in a game that has become enormous in the SEC. Tonight, we've got college football on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Another chance for the winners to celebrate.
Here we go! I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate. Come on now. Everyone stay up with me. Saturday night party. Let the band all blow their horns. We control what's going on. Let's do this thing our way. Live to see another day. Can't let us don't hesitate. Come on, y'all, let's celebrate.
It's easy to lose when you're going against the best. Now you're being put to the test. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Now you're on your own. We gon' see who regulates and who gets to celebrate.
Just wanna celebrate. I wanna celebrate. Just wanna celebrate. Yeah.
Welcome back to Knoxville on a perfect Saturday night for college football. Tonight, Steve Spurrier comes back to his home state. We'll tell you what Neyland Stadium meant to him as a boy. Basketball season getting ready to start. We'll catch up with Tennessee's dynamic duo, Bruce Pearl and Pat Summitt. And the tour continues with Todd's Taste of the Town. Put a little gravy on that. Send it up here. He's ready. And so are we. These teams fighting for control of the division. The winner tonight will have a huge leg up on it. And Suckup has the ball teed up at the 30-yard line. Coker and Rogan are deep to receive.
And if I had my choice, I'd kick it to Rogan and not Coker. LaMarcus Coker off to a pretty good start, returning kickoffs.
And Coker lets it go out of bounds at the 2. They have choices here. Take the ball at a predetermined spot or make him kick it again. Here's Thomas Ritter.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. Tennessee chooses to take the ball to the 35-yard line. First down.
To tell us about the Volunteer offense, here's Pat Summitt.
At quarterback, Eric Ainge is on pace this year to pass for 3,000 yards. Only Peyton Manning has done that in a season at Tennessee. Alongside Eric, Chris Brown is redefining the tight end position in David Cutcliffe's offense. Chris already has 5 touchdown catches. Up front, the leadership role belongs to senior left tackle Eric Young, who hails from Union, South Carolina. Eric is making his 21st consecutive start.
Pat, thank you so much. Arian Foster with a little swing pass on first down. Picks up a couple. It will be 2nd and 8.
And Tennessee right away into their no-huddle offensive attack. It's not necessarily a hurry-up offense, but it is prevent South Carolina from substituting type offense.
Ainge gives again to Foster. He's hit and stuffed. Here's that Gamecock defense from Jasker Brinkley.
On the defensive line, we got Eric Norwood, a.k.a. Mr. Norwood. And on the other end, we got Casper Brinkley, a.k.a. Hit Stick. And at the linebacker position, we got Marvin Sapp, a great guy, fast, always around the ball. At the secondary, we got Emmanuel Cook, Captain Mullen. These guys can play. They're going to be all over the field tonight.
Passing down for Tennessee. They have allowed 2 sacks. Count them, 2 all year. Pressure coming. Ainge throws. Incomplete. Munnerlyn knocks it down. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, this Tennessee offensive line is the strength of this offense. They've given up the fewest sacks in the nation. But defensive end for South Carolina, Eric Norwood, said this week, hey, we know they've given up very few sacks, but that is going to change tonight. We already saw them force a punt on the first possession. He said Kentucky came into the game not giving up many sacks on Andre Woodson, and we got to him. Guys, if there's a guy that can make that happen, it's Norwood. He's so good, his teammates call him Mister.
Pretty good nickname, and he has 5 sacks this year, Holly, number 6 in the SEC. Munnerlyn deep for Colquitt's punt. And he's dragged down at the 21-yard line. There is a flag down the 3-yard return after a 44-yard punt. Morgan Cox was the first one to bring him down on special teams. And the ubiquitous block in the back. Yeah. Philip Fulmer, the highest winning percentage among active coaches in college football. He is number 1. That's with coaches who have been at this for 10 years. A tribute to him.
And the 2 guys we have in this game, Philip's got 141 SEC wins. Steve Spurrier, 143 SEC wins. 2 of the very best that have ever coached in this league.
Boyd is the starting running back. Chris Smalley, the redshirt freshman from Tuscaloosa, will get the start at quarterback. Boyd stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Lost a couple. To tell us about the South Carolina offense, here's Jasper Brinkley.
Starting offensively, Corey Boyd, one of the top running backs in the SEC. Next, one of the most underrated players in the country at fullback, Lenoir Stafford. Go out to the wide receiver, Kenny McKinley, a.k.a. Gucci Man. Now 3 anchors on the O-line, William Brown, Justin Swanson, and Jamon Meredith.
Jasper, thank you. 2nd and 13 as their running play got absolutely nothing. Tennessee with that familiar 4-man line. Here's the handoff to Davis, trying to get outside. No dice. To tell us about that defense, here's Bruce Pearl.
Tennessee's defensive line features a pair of bookend seniors in Xavier Mitchell and Antonio Reynolds at the end positions. At linebacker, junior Gerard Mayo, truly one of the team's best leaders. He starts in between Ryan Carl and Rico McCoy. And the point guard of the intramural basketball team, that's safety Jonathan Hefney. He's a Rock Hill, South Carolina native who always gets up for the Gamecocks.
Bruce Pearl and Pat Summitt just about as good at this as they are at coaching basketball, and that's really good. Tennessee's defense has been knocked around this year. Let's see what happens on third down. Boyd stumbles, fighting for first down yardage, and he has it out to the 23-yard line. Tough run from Corey Boyd.
Well, I think Steve Spurrier had his normal personnel in there and the I formation to run the football because he doesn't want to put his offensive line in a tough spot protecting the passer. They gave up 7 sacks last week to Vanderbilt, and they ran a normal play, but Tennessee had their nickel defense in expecting pass, and they were able to pop it for a first down.
I'm sure Chris Smelly appreciates the thought as well. It's a big first down, gets them out of the shadow of their own goalpost. This is a team that wants to run the football because the passing game has not been that productive, and it's really against Steve Spurrier's philosophy, but it's working.
Well, when your offense plays the way it did last week against Vanderbilt, you've got to figure other ways to try to win football games. Look at this, 4 turnovers, 5 false start penalties, 7 sacks, and when it got to third down and trying to keep the football and move the chains, 1 of 12 against Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt is an improving football team, but if South Carolina really wants to contend for the SEC championship, you can't play and win playing offense like that.
2nd and 3. Boyd, the single setback this time, and Boyd will get the ball straight ahead. And he's got another first down.
Now, Steve Spurrier, it's so funny because when he was the head coach at Florida, and you used to talk to him about time of possession, he used to chuckle and laugh. He thought it was the most ridiculous statistic because he was all about scoring and going up and down the field and get the ball back and go. But now, because his defense is really the strength of his team, and because his offensive line has some struggles, he's turned into a different kind of coach. He's playing time of possession, run the football, play to the strength of his defense. He has a good kicker. I mean, that is so unlike Steve Spurrier to play that way.
Well, when he was there, the other team could have the ball for a 5-minute drive and get a field goal. He'd have it for 45 seconds and get a touchdown. Yeah. Smelly with good protection goes over the middle short and incomplete. There is a flag down right in the area where that ball was thrown. Boyd came out of the backfield, and Gerard Mayo, the middle linebacker, had the coverage.
Well, it's thrown in the area we expect a holding, but John Pierre, the right guard for South Carolina, was without his helmet. And so that's what I think the penalty is going to be. Lemuel John Pierre, the right guard, ended the play up without his helmet, and I think that's what the penalty is going to be. Here he is right here. Take a look at him as he's pass protecting. Again, this has been a sore spot for South Carolina. He's hanging his ground in there, and it's a hands to the face penalty. When that helmet pops off like that, they got DeMonte Bolden, who's been having an outstanding season up front for Tennessee, just got those hands up around the face.
Pretty good indicator, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an impressive drive so far for South Carolina. They've reached midfield. Smelly, short set, throws, complete. That's going to be another first down, and that one's complete to Dion LaCorn, only his 9th catch. They have been desperate to find a receiver on the other side to complement Kenny McKinley.
Yeah, Kenny McKinley coming into the ballgame, 41 catches. No other receiver with more than 11. The tight ends have been, the second best targets, the backs out of the backfield, but those quick throws for Smelly to go along with the running game, a great way to get his feet on the ground in this football game.
Hey, you've got all the rest of the wide receivers, 11, 8, 5, and 2.
McKinley's in the direct snap right now at quarterback.
Smelly is out in the slot. They'll give it to Boyd. Tried to mess him up with the formation and then run a running play off right guard. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, Steve Spurrier admitted that he probably should have run the ball more against Vandy last week, and I've got an interesting stat for you here. Would Corey Boyd and Mike Davis combine for 25 carries? they're 9-1 under Spurrier. It's something he has to keep reminding himself. It may not be who he is, but he thinks it may be the key to their success. Be more patient in the running game.
Well, winning is who he is and who he's always been, and so he's going to figure out the best way that gives his team a chance to win.
I always say this, he found a way to win at Duke, and if he can do that, he can coach anybody. Smelly with time and incomplete. That was intended for his tight end, Jared Cook. McCoy, the linebacker, was the closest defender to him.
Well, that's 2 drop passes we've seen in the ball game tonight. The good news for Steve Spurrier is that when he's calling passes, Chris Smelly looks comfortable. He's getting back, he's got protection, the ball's getting out quick, and he's on target with it. But that's the second ball that was dropped.
John Chavis says this defense needs to be consistent. The secondary has been a woeful disappointment for them this year. Smelly in the shotgun. Blitz coming, and they got him this time. Smelly goes down at the 40 for Gerard Mayo, the middle linebacker, with his first sack of the year.
Well, he's in a stand-up position, and then he just comes in between the guard and the center, and nobody touches him. And, you know, that's a breakdown. A quarterback has no chance when pressure comes inside right up into his face that time.
Seaver Brown, the guard, went outside. He came inside and was untouched.
Yeah, I mean, the rule of thumb is you got to step inside and stop that move, and if anybody comes free, he comes from as far outside as possible.
Suckup, one of the great two-way kickers in college football, will punt to Hefney. 4 years in a row, he's been the primary punt return man for this club. They've never had that before. 32 yards on the kick, no return. Nothing, first quarter from Tennessee. ESPN's College Football Primetime is available on ESPN HD, presented by Pioneer Kuro HD TV. South Carolina, if nothing else, turned the field over, and Tennessee will start from its own 10-yard line. Maybe a yard to Foster up the middle, and Marvin Sapp led the charge on defense. Number 53, the middle linebacker, and he's in there because Jasper Brinkley, who was their only preseason SEC choice on defense, was hurt early in the season, lost for the year.
And David Cutcliffe thought he was the best defensive player in the SEC before he got hurt. Again, this no huddle is not a hurry up as much as it is make them line up, show us what they've got, and don't let them substitute personnel on defense.
Foster. It's about 3 this time. Let's take a look at tonight's X Factor presented by Dell.
Well, for South Carolina, they've got to protect their quarterback. 7 sacks last week. They've already given up 1 in their first possession. Tennessee, I think the key is to run for 150 yards or more. That's right around their average, and the one weak spot of this South Carolina defense has been their ability to not stop the run. About 178 yards a game they've given up to go with that outstanding pass defense. But third and passing situations like this plays right into their hands.
Ainge throws incomplete. Had a man, threw it at his ankles. Briscoe, who was coming off a concussion from a week ago.
You know, the thing about Eric Ainge is he's really grown and developed as a quarterback, but he still can be a little undisciplined with his feet. He's a little flat-footed, and this time he didn't step into the throw. He stepped straight ahead and tried to throw the ball more to the right instead of getting those feet adjusted just a hair more to make that throw.
Colquitt, the 4th of the kicking Colquitt family, will punt to Captain Munnerlyn. Big rush, collision, and a flag. Colquitt went down as Cliff Matthews came in on special teams on 4th and 6. It's a personal foul. It's a 15-yard version, first down.
Cliff Matthews is one of those true freshmen who's playing a lot for the South Carolina defense and special teams. He's up in the air, and he's just, you know, there's no such thing as being blocked into the kicker. You've got to avoid the contact. He goes airborne, but he has no body control once he's up there. And that's a good call.
Yes, it was. Steve saying it doesn't matter. You can't commit that penalty. New life for Tennessee at the 29, and Ainge will go to the shotgun. Out in the flat, room to run. First down and more. Briscoe. 32nd catch of the year. Yeah. He and Rogers and Taylor form quite a trio.
And watch Austin Rogers get the key block, number 21. He's going to be the guy right there. He gets the clear block that gets him to the sidelines and turns that short catch into a big game. Those receivers on those kind of screens have to work with each other.
Foster tackled by Brinkley. With plays like that, roughing the punter can give you such a psychological lift, and Tennessee looks a little crisper right now.
And a psychological letdown for a defense. Sure. You get a stop, you think you get to rest, and you're right back on the field.
Ainge throws again incomplete. He's trying to fit that one in there. Brandon Isaac was closing from the near corner. And if he leads him a little more, Isaac's liable to get a pick on that play.
Well, again, another third down situation coming into the ball game. South Carolina, the 6th best defense in the country, defending you on third down.
Norwood lines up on the defensive line at the top of your screen. He's standing up. It's a guy you got to watch. Gets in there in a hurry, and this one is tipped and incomplete. Good play by Darian Stewart. The free safety closed and got a finger on it.
I think what makes South Carolina very good in their pass defense and on third downs is they've got a lot of speed, and they've got guys who can cover. I mean, they've got corners who can cover, safeties who can cover, guys who can rush the passer so they get enough pressure, and they can really lock up and play man if they want to. They do a lot of fire zone and blitz with zone behind it, but they still are capable of playing a lot of man.
Munnerlyn waits at his 10. Pretty kick by Colquitt. Munnerlyn fair catch at the 7. 37-yard kick, no return. Tennessee and South Carolina have yet to score.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by the Ridgeline from Honda. Strength meets intelligence.
What a place to see a ball game. 105,000 people, standing room only. You get the feeling they put in 30 more thousand seats, it'd still be full. South Carolina will have to start from its own 7-yard line. And they're still at the 7-yard line.
2 drives, start one on the 12 and start your next one on the 7. Kind of tough to play offensive football that way. You got to be conservative. Again, South Carolina coming into this game, the strength of their team is their defense. So you want to play to that strength and not put them in bad situations. Plus, your offensive line has had problems protecting the quarterback. 27 sacks now on the season they've given up. That's the worst in the SEC.
Chris Culliver got that last toss. This is Boyd trying to muscle his way and getting extra yards out to the 13. They need to make the 17 for a first down. Boyd's used to tough going. He grew up in about the toughest place there is, Orange, New Jersey. Lived in the projects. Said the only guy he had who was a role model died in his arms from a gunshot. This kid's faced a lot in his life. Trying to work for a first down, and there goes Boyd again. Powering his way through tackles out to the 35.
Now the
Gain of 22, Todd.
Yeah, the last time that South Carolina ran on third down, it was against a nickel defense. This time Tennessee kept their main personnel in, expecting run, and still couldn't stop Boyd. Bad tackling at the point of attack, and Corey Boyd just keeps chugging along, keeps moving forward, and turns a short gain into a very positive one. And now they're out away from their own end zone.
So defense giving up more than 400 yards every game and a lot of points. South Carolina doesn't figure to score a lot of points.
Well, I like this kid. He runs the ball well.
He is tough.
He's patient. He follows his blocks. He's got good vision, and he's very strong.
Averaging 5 yards a carry. Let's go to Holly Rowe. Holly?
Well, Mike, you alluded to the tough background of Corey Boyd, and when he came out to South Carolina, one of the reasons he came is people promised that, hey, we will have some father and mother figures for you out here to help take care of you. But he got into trouble. He was suspended for all of one season, had some off-the-field problems, but Steve Spurrier really gives this kid a lot of credit. He has stuck with him. He's done everything he needed to do, and he has been a fighter to get back, overcome his background, and try to do things right to help this team.
Well, Holly, it was culture shock for him just not to leave wherever he was living and be shot at. So when he was in a safer environment, it had to be a heck of an adjustment for him. That time, he was taken down by DeMonte Bolden. You love to see kids succeed that come from that kind of background against all the odds. And he is approaching 2,000 yards for his South Carolina career. That'll get Mike Davis in for a chance to run a little bit.
Another big third down situation for South Carolina. Probably throw the football this time. Let's see how the protection holds up on this third down play for the Gamecocks. Tennessee showing pressure with a 5-man front.
Here they come. They unload. Had a first down. The ball's lost. Freddie Brown fumbled it. Tennessee comes up with a football. And it's Eric Berry all the way to the 5. And a flag. 47-yard return. It looked like D'Angelo Willingham knocked the ball down after Freddie Brown appeared to make the catch over the middle.
And Tennessee came with pressure, and South Carolina picked it up just fine. And Smelly hung in there and made a nice throw. They have the first down. Freddie Brown turns upfield. And you're right, it's knocked out by Willingham, and Eric Berry, who had a 96-yard interception return for a touchdown against Florida earlier in the year, almost took this one back for 6 points. All the way down inside the 5. And then a face mask penalty at the end.
Now they're going to take a look at this for instant replay, but it certainly looked like it was a legitimate catch, and then the ball was knocked away from Brown for a fumble.
Man-to-man coverage, and Brown does a great job getting off the bump coverage at the line of scrimmage, just doesn't secure the football. 4 turnovers last week in the home loss to Vanderbilt. Last year in the loss to Tennessee in Columbia, 4 turnovers in that game as well.
After review, video evidence confirms the call of the field. First down, Tennessee.
Huge break by the Volunteer defense as they forced the fumble. And South Carolina continues to search for a complimentary receiver that can make plays.
Last year when Tennessee won 31-24 in Columbia, the first touchdown was an interception return for a touchdown by the Volunteers. Knocking on the door here in 2007.
LaMarcus Coker is the tailback for the first time. He dives ahead inside the 2. Coker, a sophomore, 5'11", 195. You got 3 guys who can play that tailback spot here in Tennessee. Montario Hardesty the other, although he is nursing an ankle injury. Second and goal, and the officials will call a timeout, and it looks like one of the Tennessee players is hurt, or excuse me, one of the South Carolina players is down. And that's the backup middle linebacker, Melvin Ingram.
You talk about not putting your defense in a bad situation. They're playing so well, not giving the other team a short field. Turnovers, a sure way to put your defense in a situation of duress. Freddie Brown feeling bad about that turnover by himself on the bench right now.
How lonely is that after you make a mistake in a big game? You know, he can't wait for the offense to get the ball back, so he's got a chance to do something positive. 2nd and goal. Foster back in. Leans at the goal line. No signal yet. 3rd down.
Well, this has been an area that has hurt Tennessee. 3rd down and short. This time 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line, or just inside the 2. They've not been a real effective short yardage team so far this year, but this is a situation after the turnover. They really need to punch this one in and get on the board first.
And Foster, almost 230 pounds, is their big back. He'll get another try. It'll dive. I don't think so.
If he did, it was second effort. He didn't have it at first. I think he ended up in the end zone, but I don't know if he got it there the first effort. Now they give him to him.
I will never understand the officiating that allows that kind of call to be made. The umpire is 2 feet away.
I don't think he got it at first. He tried to dive. Now, was he down or before he got the ball over? You see, he ends up with the ball across the plane for the touchdown. The only question was he down before he reached with the football? It looked like he was on some bodies instead of any part of his body on the ground. Now, one of the reasons maybe you hesitate, you called it a touchdown, it's reviewable. If you call that down, it's not a reviewable play. So the referees are instructed to err on the side of calling it a touchdown because it can always be looked at.
If it stands, it is the 9th touchdown rushing for Arian Foster. But my point, if you go back to one of those replays, the umpire is staring directly at the call.
Right.
He knows whether that ball has gone over the goal line or not, and you wait 10 seconds for the line judges to come in and make the call.
After review, ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So Tennessee takes the lead. The team that scores first in the SEC this year, 23-7. That is a huge edge. Lincoln for the point after. He was 26 for 26, now 27 for 27 this year. And Freddie Brown's fumble leads to the first score of the ball game. A Tennessee touchdown. The Volunteers up 7-0.
ESPN salutes the Southeastern Conference. 75 years of excellence in collegiate athletics.
What a year so far in the SEC. 7 teams ranked in the BCS standings. 12 SEC games decided by 6 or fewer. I think we've done most of those at least. Earl Bennett of Vanderbilt, congratulations. The SEC career leader in receptions, 215. And how many SEC teams are going to go to bowl games this year?
Yeah.
Almost all of them, right?
Well, right now, the only one that looks like is going to have a very, very hard time doing that would be Ole Miss. Everybody else is right around there.
Kickoff taken by the fullback, Patrick DeMarco. Check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Mike, checking out the primetime pulse on ABC. Ohio State, the #1 team in the land, got a quick field goal against Penn State. Anthony Morelli, now as you see him complete a pass, has completed his first 3 as Penn State, their first opportunity to move against the Buckeye defense. Kansas and Texas A&M on ESPN2, about 90 seconds away from halftime. Neither team has been able to score in that defensive struggle. Jayhawks one of the 5 unbeaten left.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. South Carolina starting from its 37, and Chris Smelley stumbles over the 31-yard line.
Well, he stumbled, but he was going to get sacked if he didn't fall down because Robert Ayers, number 91, ran right around the left tackle, Jamon Meredith, and would have been in the backfield. As it was, Chris Smelley sacked by himself. Actually just tripped over Corey Boyd. I don't know who gets credit for that sack. Do you? I mean, they don't give it to Corey Boyd.
Corey Boyd doesn't want it.
That's a team sack for Tennessee, a team sack.
But it's a loss of 7. Smelly throws underneath to McKinley, and Kenny McKinley makes his 42nd catch of the year. And it was Ryan Carl, the linebacker, who chased him down.
Nice job getting Kenny McKinley involved in the game. He's your main weapon in the passing game. That's his 42nd catch on the season. Had a 7-catch, 102-yard game against Georgia. 4 for 107 and a couple touchdowns against Mississippi State. Get him involved in the game early.
They're involved here at Tennessee, trying to take control of their own destiny in the SEC. They're up 7-0 at the end of a quarter. College football is all about tradition. The Vol Navy, Smoky, you haven't been here in 10 years. You come back 10 years later, they're doing the same thing. The Vol Walk down the hill. And the T by the Pride of the Southland Band. The runway for the team. The checkerboard end zones. Gotta love it.
Pretty impressive. You're a college or high school recruit seeing all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
There's some neat stuff goes on here.
Blitz coming. Pass overthrown and intercepted again. It's Eric Berry. Eric Berry with his second interception and his second turnover in this game.
Well, it was the pressure that caused the high throw. I think it was DeMonte Bolden again. Watch the pocket collapse, and the pressure come right up inside by Bolden. He wasn't able to step through the throw, and the ball took off on him over McKinley's head into the waiting arms of Berry. It starts with the pressure. It's finished on the back end.
You know, it's one thing not to throw a very good block on occasion. It's another thing to whip somebody who causes the turnover. Can Tennessee take advantage of this one? Ainge from the 45. LaMarcus Coker is the running back.
Early turnovers last week at home allowed Vanderbilt to get up to a 17-0 lead in that game.
Blitz coming. They pick it up. Ainge throws. Too far and incomplete. Intended for Lucas Taylor. Covered by Munnerlyn. Reese Davis, SportsCenter 30-30.
All right, Mike, a decision is imminent for the New York Yankees about who will become the next manager. Their decision coming on Monday, announcement on Tuesday. The candidates, as expected, Girardi, Mattingly, and Tony Pena. There's Mattingly, Donnie Baseball there. There are talks going on right now that would send Kobe Bryant to the Chicago Bulls. That coming from our Chris Sheridan. SportsCenter after the game. Stay current, ESPN News.
Reese, thanks very much. From the 45, Ainge gives it to Coker.
Talked about Eric Norwood and Emmanuel Cook being two of the key factors. Now, David Cutcliffe wanted to move Norwood away from the ball by formation. Here he is, but watch him keep outside leverage on this running play and force the run back inside. He's outside, he sees the run coming, and he keeps his outside arm free and forces the run back inside where he's got help. He has been a playmaker all season for this South Carolina defense. Now he's up on the line. Here he is now in a three-point stance, ready to rush the passer if it's a pass.
He's the guy they count on for so much. Ainge having trouble getting the play. They're going to have to use the timeout to avoid a delay of game call. Tennessee has high hopes for basketball this year. When we come back, we'll talk to both of the Vols basketball coaches. Will there be a quarterback change in the offing for South Carolina? Blake Mitchell getting the arm loose.
Well, you know, last week he put Blake Mitchell in because he just felt he deserved to play. I don't think Chris Smelley has done anything bad tonight. I mean, he threw the interception, but he was hit as he threw, and the other turnover was a fumble, not by him.
Pressure, a little dump off over the middle will get him down to the 35-yard line. LaMarcus Coker came out of the backfield. Looks like it's going to be just short.
And boy, Norwood, again, you talk about a guy who plays with a high motor. Eric Norwood is a guy who plays with a high motor. Reminds me a lot of David Pollock, who used to play at Georgia. Same kind of position, a defensive end. He rushed the passer that time, read the little screen, chased the screen down from behind, and they stopped him short. And now Tennessee going for it on 4th and 1.
This is that gray area where it doesn't benefit you a whole lot to punt the ball. Ainge on a little half roll, under pressure, throws, knocked away.
What does that say about your offensive line? There is a flag down, but 4th and 1.
Not much.
It doesn't say you have much confidence in your ability to run the football.
Intended for Briscoe, Captain Munnerlyn on the coverage, and Tennessee gets a break.
They got a break on the interference. Everybody was covered.
Pass interference, number 1 on the defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, that's the second penalty that has kept a Tennessee drive going. We had a roughing the kicker earlier. Now on 4th and 1. Tennessee elects to throw. Captain Munnerlyn, the best cover guy, he had his right hand around him for a moment, but took it off, made the play with his left hand. That's a tough call to go against the ball coach on 4th and 1.
Another big break for Tennessee, though. 1st and 10 from the 30. Coker trying to get to the outside, nowhere to go, and Munnerlyn. The more I see Captain Munnerlyn, the more impressed I am by that guy.
That's one thing to be a shutdown corner, a guy who can play man-to-man and stay with your best receiver. It's quite another thing to come up and play tough against the run as well, and we've seen Munnerlyn do both tonight. Looks like he might be favoring his shoulder a little bit after that tackle. He's dragging that left arm a little bit.
2nd and 9. In the flat, complete to the tight end for not much. Stocker made the catch, and Brandon Isaac cut his legs out from under him, and Isaac is going to be a little slow to get up. A lot of times you get it right in the helmet when you go that low.
Well, this was a good job by both Eric Ainge and the South Carolina defense. It was a bootleg, and pressure's coming, so he knows he has to get rid of the ball quick, which he does. But South Carolina right there to keep it to a very, very minimal gain. A knee right to the helmet, it looked like, huh?
Sure was. And, of course, as a corner, you're going low on a 240-pound tight end. Brandon Isaac is up. This secondary's done a great job this year. And the whole defense, as far as scoring, has been outstanding as well.
Well, a big play right here for South Carolina. They've overcome the situation. They've got a chance to hold Tennessee again now on 3rd down and 8. 6th best team in the country on 3rd down defense coming into tonight.
Ainge to the shotgun. Throws underneath, and they've got a first down. Good catch by Quentin Hancock. That's only his 6th grab of the year.
A nice job by Hancock turning upfield after the catch. Not trying to go sideways and make a huge play, but getting his shoulders upfield after the catch and making sure he gets the first down. Here's the catch. Watch him turn straight up the field now. Get north and south and make sure he gets that first down.
Coker, the single setback. 3 wide receivers. And now Brown comes in motion and goes out as a blocker.
Well, you see the speed.
Look at that swarming defense. They had 7 white and red jerseys out there.
Yeah, they are a very fast defense. They're not an overly big defense up front. They're not as big as Tennessee or some of the other teams in this league, but they can really run. And you got to keep in mind, too, this defense playing without their leader, their emotional leader and physical leader, middle linebacker Jasper Brinkley. They lost their starting defensive end, Nathan Pepper, to a knee injury back in September against South Carolina State. And yet they still have been plugging along, playing excellent defense.
Tough sledding on a run for Tennessee. 10 carries, 12 yards. Ainge may have had his arm hit just as he threw. That's why it was so off. And Tyrone Nix, at age 35, is already in his 7th year as a major college defensive coordinator, his 3rd at Tennessee.
When you watch his teams,
at Tennessee, South Carolina.
His kids play very, very hard for him. Last year, they were a lot more man pressure. This year, they've done a lot more zone blitzing. They're a lot less predictable on defense this year. Mixing up coverage is a lot more for Eric Ainge tonight.
Hardesty is in for the first time at Tennessee's tailback spot. Ainge down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal for Tennessee.
Well, they went after a freshman. You saw Brandon Isaac get hurt, come out of the game. Addison Williams, number 7, is a true freshman. And Eric Ainge looks for the matchup. He finds it. And he goes one-on-one against Addison Williams on the slant route. Nice job by Austin Rogers creating some separation, and Eric Ainge finding the matchup that favored his offense.
1st and goal from the 6. Play action. Ainge wants to throw. Gets it out in the flat. Complete down to the 4 to Coker. And Carlos Thomas got him.
It's a big defensive possession for South Carolina, trying to keep him out of the end zone. This is a South Carolina offense that hasn't scored a touchdown in 6 quarters. Now 7 quarters. You just wonder how many points they're capable of making up.
Hardesty, easy touchdown. Got a heck of a block on the corner from Lucas Taylor. It was the last player of any resistance on the outside. Taylor took him down. Four-yard drive after the turnover. Almost 5 minutes off the clock. And it's been all Tennessee, courtesy of South Carolina mistakes. (14-0) Volunteers here at home. Will it be smelly, or will there be a quarterback change? Bruce Pearl and Pat Summitt, the 2 coaching basketball stars. Bruce Pearl showed up, bared his chest, painted himself orange, and Pat Summitt really appreciated that kind of dedication. And she returned the favor, dressing up as a cheerleader for a Tennessee men's game. Tell you what, that school spirit. Then she sang Rocky Top. And we finally found out something Pat couldn't do. She can't sing that well. Holly?
No, but she can do a lot of other things very well. And you guys really hit on that unique dynamic between these 2 coaches. How have you learned to lean on each other as an important resource here at Tennessee?
Well, I'd be crazy if I didn't take some advice from the greatest coach to ever coach this game, and Coach Summitt. We're doing this thing together, and I think together we got a pretty good basketball program going on.
Coach, you've helped him, but he was helpful to you last year, helping Sydney Spencer get some open looks. How have you relied on him?
Well, I've relied on him a lot. When we lost Alexis to the point position, I called Bruce in a panic. I said, will you meet me tomorrow morning? I need help, because I was having to move Shauna Zoman to the point, Candace Parker to the point, and we didn't miss a beat. He's got a great basketball mind and an awesome staff, and we work really well together.
Well, both of you are in a great position. You have 4 returning starters. Coach Pearl, you're picked to win the SEC on the men's side. What are your expectations?
You know, just more of the same. You know, we've exceeded expectations the last couple of years. I like my roster. We're as deep as we've been, and we're still hungry. You know, we lost to go to the Elite Eight last year. Tennessee men's basketball has never been past the Sweet 16, so we're hungry to continue to build on what we got started.
Coach Summitt, I'll never forget after the national championship for the women last year, you told me championships are won in the offseason. How was your offseason?
You know, Holly, I thought our team worked really hard in the offseason. They welcomed 4 new talented freshmen. We're excited and ready to go.
All right. Well, guys, my last question for them was, when are we going to see them out here in cheerleading outfits or something for the football team? You guys need to work on that.
What's that now?
Work on the support for Phillip, you know, with a cheerleading outfit or something.
Oh, I'll tell you what, there's nothing we wouldn't do for Coach Fulmer. I guarantee you. I get here early before the game. We get the students all fired up. I do as much tailgating as anybody.
All right. We want body pink, Coach, but thanks for joining us.
That's done. I guarantee that's done.
Thanks, guys.
Couple of class acts right there. Thank you, Holly.
It's great to see their relationship,
It
too.
is, and they really
I don't
do.
think that's a common thing.
It is not. It's not always common for the men's basketball coach and the football coach to get along that well. 2 straight completions to McKinley from Blake Mitchell, who was checked in at quarterback. Last week he played for the first time since September 22nd. 12-7 as a starter. The young man out of LaGrange, Georgia, 5th-year senior. Personal foul against South Carolina. Mistakes are just killing them.
I mean, costly penalties. A roughing the punter on a 3rd down. A pass interference on a 4th down. And now, after 2 of the best plays they've had, just an unnecessary after-the-fact play. A personal foul against South Carolina away from the ball. It was an offensive lineman just kind of getting into something that had nothing to do with the success of the play, and Steve Spurrier's offense backed up.
And he wants an explanation.
It's 1st and 10.
Blake Mitchell, 2 years ago, is the quarterback that led South Carolina to their first ever win in Knoxville, 16-15. He was 22 of 36 for 242 yards and a pair of touchdowns in that big win here 2 years ago.
Number 5 all-time in passing, yards, and touchdowns. Checking with Reese Davis. Reese?
All right, Mike, get you up to date on what's going on with number 1 Ohio State, number 25 Penn State. 3-0 Buckeye lead, and Rodney Kenlaw gave the Nittany Lions the lead at 7-3. Hey, wasn't this supposed to be a defensive struggle? Todd Beckman marches his team right back down the field, finds Brian Rubisky. 10-7, Ohio State has the lead on ABC. On ESPN2, undefeated Kansas scoreless at halftime with Texas A&M not far away from the second half of Kyle Field.
Reese, thanks very much. South Carolina shooting itself in the foot so far. They've got a second and very long here. Pressure coming. Pass complete again to McKinley. He's up to the 45-yard line.
Well, nice
and
job.
That offensive line's having a tough time.
They are, and it's not a blitzing Tennessee defense. It's a 4-man rush, but they're just having trouble with one-on-one matchups. A lot of twists and stunts. This time, the right tackle, Heath Batchelor, has a problem, but credit Blake Mitchell for hanging in there, stepping into it, and making a big-time throw. A lot of twists and stunts by the front 4 of Tennessee trying to create more confusion for the South Carolina O-line.
3rd and 2. Davis, the tailback on the toss, never had a chance. Hit in the backfield immediately by Ryan Carl, who comes up from the corner. The outside linebacker and a perfect form tackle for a loss of 2.
Well, here he is. Ryan Carroll is just going to get right into the backfield and make the play. Quick read. He beats the block of Garrett Anderson, number 70, who is trying to get a piece of him, but just a quick move by the senior Ryan Carl.
Suck up to punt. Clock running, 5:42 to go. First half. Muffed and recovered by Hefney. Had it slide right through his arms, but able to cover it. A 36-yard punt and no return.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Dodge. Live life to the fullest. Dodge. Grab life. And Allstate, proud sponsors of college football. Are you in good hands?
Even when the band's not playing, they're singing that song.
And you know, everybody knows that part of the song, but that song is, the rest of the lyrics are kind of bizarre.
The rest of it is that.
But if it's kind of bizarre.
I'll take your word for it.
Look it up in the media guide.
Tennessee straight up the middle with Hardesty. Montario Hardesty out to the 43-yard line. Best running play they've had tonight, a 15-yard gain for the 6-foot sophomore.
When Tennessee has been at their best this year offensively, they've been physical, running the football and then going play action and throwing off of the run. A little slow getting started running the football, but the longer they keep this South Carolina defense on the field, the better chance they'll have to run the football.
Hardesty had to limp off because of that bad ankle, but then Ainge with a perfect strike to Taylor. 37 yards, put just the right amount of air under it.
Run it for a big play on first down. Now you go play action, fake the run. Get a single matchup because South Carolina's bringing extra bodies in close to try to stop the run. You got one-on-one against Munnerlyn, and it's a perfect throw by Eric Ainge in there before the safety could be there to help.
Stewart couldn't quite time it. Coker, the new running back. 1st and 10, Tennessee just outside the 20-yard line. Ainge with the quick throw, complete to Quentin Hancock, his second catch of the night, and the tackle made by Darian Stewart, just short of a first down.
And again, you see the maturity and the growth of Eric Ainge, working at the line of scrimmage, checking with the sidelines, changing the play at the line of scrimmage, finding that quick throw, getting the ball out of his hands.
First down and goal at the 7 as Foster takes it outside for the first down. Let's go to Holly.
Well, Todd, you're right. Eric Ainge told me yesterday that the thing he's the best at this year is understanding what defenses are doing. Last year when David Cutcliffe came back, he took him through defense and made him learn this is why we're doing stuff on offense. Here's what's going to work on the defense. And Eric said this year, I've read quotes where the defensive has said, hey, it seemed like Ainge knew what we were doing before we did it. And Eric said, I finally do. And that's made all the difference this year.
Cutcliffe, Holly, a remarkable quarterback coach. Has been his entire career. Foster dancing into the hole inside the 5.
Just to build on that a little bit more about David Cutcliffe's way of coaching. And again, he's coached Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, the same learning curve. He begins by teaching them defensive football, understanding what people do on defense and why they do it, because it's not enough to just know your plays offensively, what your job is, what you're supposed to do. When you go to the next level, it's about knowing why you're calling this. What's the defense trying to do? What can we do to offset that?
Second and goal. Ainge under pressure, throws for Foster, incomplete. The pressure being applied by Marquis Hall, who's been playing with a sore knee most of the year, but he got through that time and made Ainge get rid of it before he wanted to. South Carolina's offense trying to talk it over. Last year, Tennessee nearly 50% on third down conversions. This year, off by about 20%, down in the 41% range.
Well, if they hit this one, they'll be 50% for tonight.
Ainge short set. Touchdown. Josh Briscoe. Eric Ainge is number 3 all-time in touchdown passes and yards for Tennessee, behind only Peyton Manning and Casey Clausen. Racks up some more. And South Carolina's in a heap of trouble.
Yep. Beautiful route by Briscoe. It was kind of a turn back in route. He faked the out and wheeled back inside, and Ainge hit him right in the numbers with the football.
Ainge, 10 out of 17, 110 yards in the first half. He has thrown to 8 different receivers. And this should make the alumni who have been upset with the Tennessee program so far this year very, very happy.
Pound for pound, Tennessee football player Tim Towns was the hardest hitting player on the field. And what the tenacious walk-on lacked in size, he made up for in hustle, dedication, and respect from his teammates and coaches. Today, Dr. Tim Towns is tackling sickle cell anemia as a star researcher and professor, and he's still making a profound impact on his opponent. The SEC, a story of character.
Here is tonight's trivia question. Tennessee has won 414 games here at home at Neyland Stadium. That's the second best at a current home venue. Who's the first? I might actually get one. Think about it. We'll give you the answer shortly. 77 yards on that drive. Check it, 72. In 7 plays. Culliver is deep to receive. South Carolina desperately needs a spark with 4:39 to go in the half. Culliver from the 5. And they won't get the spark on the return. He's up to the 25-yard line.
Let's take a look at the touchdown now. Beautifully designed play because South Carolina is going to have 4 defenders in here, but there's only 3 routes. This route will occupy 1. The tight end's going to actually occupy these 2, and then it's Briscoe is going to go out and come back in and catch it for the touchdown. One guy takes one guy deep. The tight end occupies 2, and then Briscoe runs a beautiful route into the end zone, and Ainge finds it for the touchdown. That's excellent execution in the red zone.
Mitchell stays on at quarterback. Short set, throws that one sort of sidearm to McKinley. Kenny makes his 5th catch of the night. Got a red zone alert on the Ohio State-Penn State game for you. Want to check that one out. The only red zone alerts we've had here have been from Tennessee. 2 of them came on breaks. One they produced a nice drive all on their own. Huge mistakes by South Carolina tonight have contributed to them being in a 21-0 hole. Mitchell gets this one out to Boyd, and Boyd just bulls his way for extra yards. Got a first down. What a heck of an effort. And Brett Vinson, the former wide receiver turned defensive back, knocked him out of bounds.
And a nice job by Blake Mitchell just dumping it off to the back. I mean, that's an outlet receiver. You look downfield, it wasn't there. Don't hold on to the ball too long. Dump it off, see if your running back can make a play, which he did.
You know, you get feelings in games like this. You just have the feeling South Carolina desperately needs a score here.
Yeah.
Something to take into the locker room.
They've not scored many points the last few weeks.
Mitchell, 4-man rush, dumps it to Boyd again. And again, takes 2 guys to get him down at the 42. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, it's been very quiet over here on the South Carolina sideline, but before they took the field, Blake Mitchell and even Chris Smelly really were talking very earnestly with the offensive line. They were asking them to come on. This is where we have to make a stand, really trying to get them going. And, guys, those last 2 plays, you could see the offensive linemen really fighting, trying to get back in this thing.
Well, it's totally up to them, Holly. They've got to make a stand. McKinley, nice cut. Another nice cut. McKinley down to the 45.
Yeah, you got to believe that if they will pick up the pass protection and give Blake Mitchell or Chris Smelly, whoever's in there, some time, I mean, that's been the Achilles heel of this Tennessee defense. Their pass defense giving up 249 yards a game, 11th in the SEC. And last week, John Parker Wilson threw for nearly 400 yards against them. And that's been a problem area. They've got a couple true freshmen starting in the secondary, but if you can't block them up front, you can't exploit anything in the back end of the defense.
And South Carolina has just decided they're going to go with the pass. That ball's fumbled by Mitchell, tries to pick it up, does, and then pays the price. Wes Brown was the first man to get him.
No, it wasn't that bad of a snap. Blake Mitchell tried to snag it with one hand, probably had his eyes downfield trying to read the defense, and then did all he could do was just to get on the football. They cannot, I repeat, cannot afford another turnover. Turnovers have been their undoing here in the first half.
It has been 8 quarters since they scored a touchdown. Not a good sign. Blitz coming. Pressure. And batted down by Ryan Carl, the linebacker. Let's check in with Reese.
All right, Mike, coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, we'll check in on a couple undefeated teams playing right now. Ohio State responding to whiteout conditions by trying to punch out Penn State. The Ducks laying claim to perhaps being the best team in the country, if not #1. We'll show you what they did, and certainly it was a dog day afternoon in Jacksonville, which shook up the SEC East, as you guys well know, dealing with your game.
And Reese, what a performance by the Georgia Bulldogs. 3rd and 13. They're on their feet here in Knoxville. Mitchell throws incomplete. McKinley had it. He would have been shy of a first down anyway, but was separated from the ball by Ricardo Kemp.
This Tennessee secondary has had some serious injury problems. I mean, they lost before the season started 2 players. One to academics, one from a team dismissal. Antonio Gaines, who then was the starting corner, hurt his knee in the Georgia game. They had to take Vincent, who was a wide receiver a couple weeks ago, move him to corner. Not only move him there, but start him. This has been a tough spot for the Tennessee defense. Came up with a play there.
I mean, that was your top 3 corners. No wonder you're going to have problems on defense, especially at that position. And there's just nowhere to go. You know, your best 3 guys are gone. 2-yard return after a 43-yard punt. Only a minute 39 to go in the half. Tennessee up big, 21-0. Tennessee in command at home as they fight for command of the SEC East. They're up 21-0 on South Carolina, courtesy of their own good play and South Carolina mistakes. Arian Foster picks up almost 10. He gets out to the 17-yard line. Tennessee just wants to work on the clock right now. They're going to look at it.
It's just kind of an amazing situation for Tennessee coming into the ball game. 3 losses, all in conference, but only 1 or 2, I should say.
2.
Yep, 2. 1 in
3
their
losses
division,
overall.
right? 3 losses overall. The 3rd loss was in their opener at Cal to start the season. They beat Georgia, who turned around and beat Florida, and so now they're in great position.
If they win this game, they're in control of their own destiny. Look at the numbers that they have given up in the losses. 45 to California, 59 against Florida, and 41 at Alabama last week. And yet here they are with a chance to be in charge of everything in their division by hanging on to a 21-point lead. That's not bad.
No, it's not. It's not. The thing that Tennessee can't do, I mean, they can do right now because there's coming under a minute in the first half, but in the second half, they've got to come out and still be aggressive because their defense has not proven itself this year that they're going to be able to shut out South Carolina the rest of this ball game. They've played well in the first half, but very important for Tennessee's offense to come out in the second half and keep this aggressiveness that they have.
South Carolina uses its first timeout. And here is our Aflac trivia question answer. The question, if you recall, Neyland Stadium had 414 wins here for Tennessee. Who has the most wins? That's number 2. It's got to be Georgia Tech because that's the oldest stadium in the country. It's got to be Georgia Tech.
Wow. Good one, my man.
That's 1.
Good one.
How long have we been doing this? 2 years?
Yeah.
That's 1.
Very strong.
I'll get another one 2 years from now. Well, what one day can do in the momentum of not only a ball club, but an entire division and an entire league with the way things happen today. Here is Arian Foster bursting through up to the 29-yard line. I mean, the noise around here was, geez, we're really bad, all the stuff that's happening to us. After this game, they could be saying, hey, here we are back where we're supposed to be.
Well, the goal for both these teams starts with winning the East and earning a trip to Atlanta. And then it becomes win the SEC championship.
Ainge wants to throw out in the flat, and they'll get out of bounds to stop the clock with 49 seconds. So now that they're not penned back in their own end, maybe Tennessee looking to try to move the ball a little bit.
Well, they don't want to do anything that hurts their cause because they have played a beautiful first half. They've capitalized on the turnovers. They've shown a good balance of run and pass in the first half. Nothing wrong with going to the locker room with a 21-0 lead. And I'm sure David Cutcliffe telling Eric Ainge, if you throw, just be smart where you go with the ball.
Run a little draw. Foster. That'll stop the clock up at the 40 and should be enough for another first down.
South Carolina's defense is just hoping to get to the locker room to get a break. They've been on the field a long time. They've had their backs against the wall. When you have to overcome turnovers like that and you're in your own territory, it just feels like you're playing uphill defensively. Yeah. I'm sure that's the way they felt this whole first half. They need to regroup at halftime with Tyrone Nix, their defensive coordinator.
2 of the touchdowns set up by turnovers. Only one really generated by the Tennessee offense. Lucas Taylor makes the catch to South Carolina 41. Still plenty of time to go, and 2 Tennessee timeouts.
That's right. 2 timeouts. The clock stops as they're moving the chains, and now you're in a position where you can be a little more aggressive. Another couple completions. You get into field goal range for Lincoln, and you've got both timeouts in your back pocket.
Ainge again underneath. That's not going to get too much to Briscoe.
First timeout used by Tennessee.
Ainge is a guy that not many people have been talking about this year, but he is really putting up some impressive numbers. He has not made many mistakes.
Right.
Where Tennessee has been in fault this year has been on defense.
Absolutely, and I'm impressed tonight. I'm impressed watching him on tape. I was able to see Matt Ryan of Boston College on Thursday night, and a very similar kind of quarterback. Tall, 6'6", you know, not the greatest footwork, but good enough to move in the pocket, buy time, and a big-time arm. And very, very similar guys. I think Eric Ainge has had an outstanding season. David Cutcliffe told us, he said, you know what, I've been around them. I know what they look like. He's somebody's first-rounder next year. Yeah. Not a first-day pick. He's somebody's first-round draft pick.
No, I'll take his word for it, too. 23 seconds left, 2nd and 5. Probably at the edge of field goal range right here. 4-man rush, good protection. They dump it off. Foster down to the 34. Clock running. Emmanuel Cook made that tackle. Well, wasted a lot of time to take that timeout with 9 seconds left.
I think they wanted a little bit more yardage on that before they took the timeout. This is going to be a tough one for Lincoln.
Monday Night Football on ESPN. We'll go to Invesco Field at Mile High. Can Brett Favre, the Packers, roll out of Denver with the victory against Jay Cutler and the Broncos? Monday Night Football on ESPN, 8 o'clock Eastern. Coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown. I think everybody in the NFL and anybody that cares about the NFL just thrilled with Brett Favre. I never want the guy to retire. I want to see him just keep playing. He is the most fun to watch.
Great for the game. And we mentioned Matt Ryan in Boston College. Of course, the head coach at Boston College, Jeff Jagodzinski, was the offensive coordinator with the Packers last year. His first head coaching job, all he's done is lead the Boston College to an undefeated season.
Not bad.
And ranked number 2, not bad.
Here's Lincoln. 1 miss all year, 13 out of 14. Had a terrific season.
That miss was a 26-yarder against Mississippi State, but he went on to make 4 more in that ball game.
This is from 51. It would be a career long. This would just rub salt in the wound. Plenty of distance, but wide right. And South Carolina dodges the tiniest of bullets with 2 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Well, you can coach them up, you know, and you can draw up plays and you can have schemes. But if you don't take care of the football, and if you make really costly penalties at inopportune times, this is what happens. And there's no way to coach around that. I mean, Steve Spurrier will take his team in at halftime and say, hey, we got to treat it like a new game. New 30 minutes, let's treat it like it's 0-0. We can't do anything about that first 30 minutes.
And he knows this team has deficiencies, and he knows what they are. And the clock will run out on this play with a run that goes into Tennessee territory. But the Volunteers, dominant in the first half, taking advantage of South Carolina mistakes. Our halftime score, Tennessee 21, South Carolina nothing. Let's go to Holly.
Coach, what happened on those 2 first-half interceptions?
Oh, I don't know. He threw it to the wrong guy. But, Holly, we roughed the punter. We got some late hits. We don't give ourselves a chance. For us to beat Tennessee, we got to play a lot smarter. Hopefully we can get back in it second half.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Holly, 21-0. Volunteers. Let's join Reese Davis. He has the Pontiac Performance halftime report. When Smokey's happy, everybody's happy. And it is a big first half for Tennessee. They dominated this game, 205 to 46 total yards. That doesn't seem so much domination, but the 2 turnovers were, because that led to 2 of the 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, you get into any kind of an evenly matched game, and it could be turnovers, could be special teams. In this case, 2 costly turnovers by South Carolina, 5 costly penalties also in that first half. Just a tough way to come into somebody else's building and get a W.
Well, we talked about how important this game was after the events of the rest of the day, because the winner of this game is going to have control of its own destiny in the SEC East.
Yeah, I think Tennessee got that message. I'm not sure South Carolina got it as clearly in that first half.
Yeah, maybe the wake-up call is just coming now, and they're going to need it. South Carolina will get the ball to start the second half. And you can basically forget about the run game. And Culliver returns out near the 25-yard line.
Well, here's what we were talking about in the first half. The completion for a first down. Freddie Brown drops the football. And Eric Berry ends up returning it, setting up a short touchdown run. That was a 2-yard touchdown drive. Then there was the interception thrown by Smelly. It was also Berry again, the interceptor. This set up a short drive on their side of the 50. 2 turnovers lead to 2 touchdowns. Tennessee added another touchdown off a very impressive drive at the end of the first half.
Blake Mitchell, who relieved Chris Smelly, will start the second half. And his first pass is batted down by Antonio Reynolds, the defensive end.
78 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And a penalty on Justin Sorensen, the right guard. And the offensive line for South Carolina struggling again tonight. Here is some of the things that they have done poorly. Kickoff out of bounds. Roughed the punter penalty, which kept the drive alive. Pass interference on 4th and 1. Kept another one going. 2 personal fouls, 2 sacks, and the 2 big turnovers that led to 2 touchdowns. So the penalty backs them up to the 20. 1st and 15. Draw play Boyd. Boy, I love the way this kid runs. The 35 lowers his shoulder, pounds his way out near the 40-yard line. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, this Tennessee defense was maligned all week after their performance at Alabama. So at the half, I asked Coach Philip Fulmer, how did they react and respond tonight? He said, for the most part, we've done a great job. We've kept them in front of us. We've really been aggressive. When I asked him, how do you avoid a letdown here in the second half? He smiled and shook his head. He said, oh, we're not going to have a letdown. We'll see, guys.
All right, Holly, thank you. We pointed out at the beginning of the game, Philip Fulmer was the best winning percentage of any coach with 10 years of experience in the country. Mitchell under pressure, got rid of it, and actually completed it for a couple of yards. Got it to Dion LaCorn, the freshman. He was in the grasp of 3 different players led by Dan Williams.
For some strange reason, Tennessee, I mean, everybody likes to play at home, play in front of the home crowd, but look at the difference how Tennessee has played defense at home compared to on the road. And look at the scoring. 21.5 points better at home than on the road. Of course, they lost at Cal, they lost at Florida, and they lost at Alabama. 3 pretty good offensive football teams as well.
Make you afraid to get on an airplane, wouldn't it? Mitchell again under pressure. Somehow got rid of it. Boyd made the catch. They'll lose a yard.
Now, you said right before the start of this half that South Carolina is pretty much going to have to get rid of the run. I don't think they can, because if they do, they may not have a quarterback to take home with them to Columbia. They've got to still run the football, because that's probably the best thing they do offensively right now. But if Tennessee thinks it's only pass all the time, they will make it very miserable for Blake Mitchell and this offensive line.
Well, Mitchell has had to play Houdini on the first and second downs, just avoiding the pass rush long enough to dump it off. 3-man rush this time. Mitchell with time throws the ball.
Throw.
What a throw. You are right. A perfect strike to McKinley. Man. That time they came with only 3 guys, and boy, he laid it on the numbers.
Boy, he does a beautiful job. 3-man rush, so he's got good protection. He sees downfield and just sticks it in between 2 Tennessee defenders. I mean, you cannot throw the football any better than that. Ricardo Kemp, number 23, he never saw the ball. His back was turned. Mitchell threw it right past his ear hole into McKinley's arm. Wow, that was pretty.
That puts them at the Tennessee 31-yard line. And Mitchell, got to give him credit, coming off the bench. Under pressure, throws the out. The receiver, McKinley, kept going up the field, and D'Angelo Williamson had the coverage.
You know, give him credit also for creating a play those first couple plays of this drive. That one was pretty good protection, stand in there. That's the way you draw it up. But he made a couple plays where he eluded pressure and got rid of the football. Those are the kinds that you don't draw up. And he kept the plays alive, kept this drive alive, and now they're in Tennessee territory.
And either one of those could have been a sack, and the drive's done. Second and 10 out of the shotgun. Blitz coming underneath screen. Good call. Boyd. First down to the 19-yard line. Right call at the right time. Meredith was leading the way on the screen, the left tackle.
Now this is a perfect call because they're anticipating pressure. Pressure's going to come right here, and Corey Boyd's going to go right by him and sit there for the screen. You anticipate pressure, and you throw the screen right in that area that he left, and then you get those linemen out in front.
Spurrier calls his own plays as the offensive coordinator. This is not his first rodeo. Draw play, Boyd. Huge hole up the middle, Boyd. Guy never goes backwards, does he?
Well, this is what South Carolina needed. Come out of the locker room, hit some passes, keep your running game intact, hold on to the football. That's the #1 goal for South Carolina, and now they're inside the 5.
Boyd, 11 carries, 97 yards, also 4 catches. Pretty darn good night.
South Carolina coming into tonight, 29 opportunities in the red zone, 18 touchdowns. They'd like to make that 19 on this drive.
Boyd, another draw. Lost his footing and goes down at the 4.
Second and goal is kind of a good down to maybe think throw here, as long as Blake Mitchell is smart with the football. Play action possibly. It's a run or pass down.
Brown, LaCorn, and McKinley, the wide receivers. Mitchell throws too high and incomplete, intended for LaCorn. Coverage by Brent Vinson.
Nice idea moving Blake Mitchell out of the pocket, just a little too high, because LaCorn had a nice spot there in the back of the end zone, and Tennessee had kind of lost track of him. Mitchell just couldn't get that ball down enough.
They don't make it here, you wouldn't kick a field goal, would you? Or would you?
Boy. I think you got to come away with something. I think you need points no matter what.
Big rush on Mitchell. Has time for the back of the end zone. Too high and complete.
Especially after the way those two plays look.
Yeah.
I think you got to kick it and get 3 points.
Spurrier sending in a play. Not the field goal unit.
He's calling timeout now.
They have to burn what might be a very valuable timeout with 10:50 to go, third quarter. Welcome back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. 4th and goal, South Carolina.
Second down and third down. Tennessee played zone. I think Steve Spurrier was expecting man. Didn't get the look he wanted. What will they play on 4th down? Lining up like it's man with pressure.
Mitchell under center. Boyd's in a slot. Mitchell throws for the end zone. That could easily be a flag. But it will not be.
They lined up and showed man and dropped out. And I think they got double coverage on Jared Cook, number 84.
Mayo was right there, certainly.
Here's Jared Cook right here. He's going to work into the end zone. He's the biggest target in there at 6'5", but he gets doubled inside and outside. There is contact by Mayo, who had no idea where the football was. That could have been called very easily.
Oh, that's got to be interference, don't you think?
Yeah, I do think so. On a 4th down play like that, yes.
But Tennessee comes out of it with the football, and South Carolina comes out of it with no points. And now Foster attacks the middle of the line of scrimmage.
It's one thing if the official signals an uncatchable pass, but that was not an uncatchable pass.
No.
And there was contact by Gerard Mayo. And the reason you can call that is because he had no idea where the football was. He was not making a play on the ball. He was just playing through the body of the receiver.
Foster as Norwood closed from his defensive end spot. Norwood is going to be a terrific player. Already is as a sophomore. He and Achaboy were in on the tackle.
You know, penalty or no penalty, the reason I thought that they needed to go for a field goal is that you had nothing go well for you in the first half at all. You turn the ball over. Now you get a drive, and I know you want a touchdown to capitalize, but I think you need points more than anything just to pay off something good that you did here to start the third quarter.
3rd and 8, Ainge, who's been sacked twice all year, to the shotgun. Draw to Foster, and Foster knocked down in the backfield. Crowd didn't like the call, but gee whiz. Yeah. You're up 21-0. Let's go ahead and be conservative.
And you got a great punter in Britton Colquitt.
The attendance tonight, 105,962. That's 3,900 over capacity. It always is over capacity here.
That means some of those people that are calling the talk shows to complain about Philip Fulmer are still buying their tickets and coming to the game. Yeah,
that's right. Colquitt to kick to Munnerlyn. High and short. Munnerlyn, no fair catch. Gives ground and is dumped outside the 40. 4 races to go, and the chase standings are up for grabs. Teammates Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon are battling down to the wire. The Nextel Cup Series continues in Atlanta on ABC tomorrow. Our coverage with Jerry Punch starts at 1 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. Gotta like Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, you do, but I'll tell you what, you better keep your eye on this guy right here, Carl Edwards, too. I mean, he's the last guy that swept both of the Atlanta races, did it in 2005. He's over there in 5th place, but he likes that track in Atlanta. Watch out.
You becoming a gearhead on us here? Gotta make the big left turn this week. South Carolina right back in business. Mitchell wants it all on first down.
Man, that was close too.
Overthrown from Mo Brown. Got a fingertip on it and couldn't hold it.
I'll tell you what, Blake Mitchell, when he has time, he shows you that arm strength. Man, that was just inches away from being a beautiful touchdown against double coverage again.
Mo Brown, who grew up a Clemson fan, but his mother was a South Carolina fan, didn't want any part of Clemson. Was thrilled when he got a scholarship offer from the Gamecocks. Davis is in the tailback. Mitchell under pressure. Sidearms it out of there. And complete to his tight end.
I'm really impressed with Blake Mitchell and his ability to improvise and to make some things happen. The quick read, you know, what he looked for first wasn't there. So he knows he has to buy some time. He drifts away from the rush and has enough arm strength to flip it to the tight end as an outlet receiver. And he gets the first down. Blake Mitchell is doing a nice job buying himself a little extra time.
Saunders makes an enormous target, too. He's 6'5", 280. 280. You want to be a defensive back seeing him coming your way. Mitchell for the end zone, got a chance, tipped it incomplete. Saved the touchdown. D'Angelo Willingham got back and got a hand on it.
Well, the only reason he got a hand on it is because the ball tailed inside too much. You've got to throw this thing to the outside shoulder to the back pylon. See that ball move back inside, and that enabled the defender to get to the ball. If this is thrown over the outside shoulder, it's a touchdown for South Carolina.
Mo Brown had a step.
You know, you tell your quarterback that aiming point is that back orange pylon on that throw. Throw it to the back corner and let the receiver go get it.
Second and 10. Mitchell over the middle, got it to his favorite receiver, Kenny McKinley, and McKinley's got a first down. Gerard Mayo made the stop.
Let's go back to that previous play. See, right here, if the ball goes this way to the corner, he has no chance. But if the ball comes in here, which it does, he has a fair shot to make the play. See that ball drift back to the inside. That enabled Willingham to get his hands on the football. Over the outside shoulder, Willingham's over there sitting with a towel on his head on the sidelines.
Last catch made by McKinley was his 8th of the night. Davis on the draw. South Carolina right back in business. They can get a first down inside the 3. Thomas made another tackle. So South Carolina has, or Williams made the tackle, so South Carolina has come out of the locker room on fire offensively.
And credit that offensive line, too. They're giving Blake Mitchell some more time. They're opening up some holes in the running game. Ron Hunt, the offensive line coach, I'm sure had a real skull session with his guys in there in the locker room.
Davis. Just inside the 5. That'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
I wouldn't be surprised to see South Carolina run the ball on this play now. If you're thinking 4-down territory like he appeared to approach the last time they were down here, and you're already thinking about going for it on 4th down, you may want to try to punch it for the first down with a running play here.
The sticks are at the 3 for a first down. Davis remains in as the tailback. The formation is heavy to the right. He'll go that way and very close to the 3-yard line. He may have a first and goal where they marked that.
Nice play. They moved the formation, shifted a couple guys over to get extra blockers and to outflank the Tennessee defense, and then snapped it quickly. Very tough for Tennessee to adjust on the fly that quickly. And a good call for the first down for South Carolina.
Philip Fulmer still holding on to a 21-0 lead. It is first and goal. Davis powers his way up in the air down to inches away.
Well, that was close.
Made the stop. Yes, it was.
Tennessee's going with an unbalanced line now. Number 74, Heath Batchelor, is lining up as a tight end. So they got an extra offensive tackle for South Carolina in there, and just barely inside that goal line. Tennessee going, or South Carolina going with a real heavy lineup. Extra offensive lineman in there again.
Overloaded on the right again. Quarterback keeper Mitchell.
I think he's got to be in, doesn't he?
Well, he was, and the umpire is staring down on
it. Your favorite
I can't stand that. It drives me out of my mind. Everybody in the ballpark could see it except the 2 linesmen. First South Carolina touchdown in over 129 minutes. But it's a big one because it gets them within 14 points if they convert the extra point. And you got to take your hat off to Mitchell, who has come off the bench to do a fine job. And if you know Steve Spurrier's history, he doesn't mind changing quarterbacks. He's done it his entire career, and it's always worked well for him. South Carolina, is there a comeback here?
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Hyundai. Now there are more reasons to check out a new Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com. And Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
Tennessee with the lead 21-7. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Mike, you said it's driving you crazy how long it's taking these guys to signal a touchdown. So I talked to one of the officials during that timeout there. He said when they're running in from the side, they can't really see what's happening at the bottom of that pile. So they run in. They want to really make sure what's going on the ground before they signal the touchdown. So they're just taking a little extra time to make sure it's all right. So come on, give our SEC guys a break.
No,
it has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with the SEC. It has to do with the fact that the umpire can see it 15 seconds before they call it. We finally got the rule changed in the NFL. We whined about it for 15 years, and they voted and did change it. Rogan, room up the middle. Rogan to the 37-yard line. Here's Reese.
All right, Mike, UCLA was undefeated in Pac-10 play, and then they had to go to the Palouse to take on Wazoo. 13-7 game in the fourth quarter. Alex Brink, Brandon Gibson, and the Cougs is 93 seconds away from giving the Bruins their first conference loss. 17-7 is the lead for Ohio State over Penn State on ABC, and Kansas handling their business in Kyle Field, trying to stay unbeaten.
Well, we finally had a weekend, Reese, where not everybody was upset. Sort of amazing. Foster, Captain Munnerlyn, nice job on the outside, forced him out of bounds. He and Norwood. This game started with such a jumble in the SEC West. And as it turned out after the events of the day, both South Carolina and Tennessee found themselves in a position to control their own destiny. And the winner of this game will actually have the lead in the SEC East. Tennessee 4 plays in this quarter, 2 yards, minus 2 yards. That's an incomplete pass, almost intercepted. And a flag comes in at the end of the play.
I think it's going to be a holding on Josh Briscoe, number 81, the other receiver out there trying to block. And you're right, Tennessee going backwards here in the third quarter. And blocked below the waist. You know, that was why I was saying right at the end of the first half, it's going to be very important for Tennessee to maintain their aggressiveness. It's hard to do when you've got a 21-point lead.
Sure.
You know, it's very easy as players to get complacent. But South Carolina, after that last drive, I think probably got Tennessee's attention a little better.
Well, it's hard for anybody, but particularly hard for 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids. The coach will say, hey, we've only got a 21-0 lead, and you can just hear the players say, yeah, only. We're ahead by 3 touchdowns. Give us a break.
Illegal crackback block, number 21 on the offense, 15 yards from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
It's on the sophomore Austin Rogers.
Well, Austin Rogers is cracking below the waist. That's got to be, got to hit him up above the waist when you're cracking inside like that.
So a Tennessee mistake, something they did not do in the first half, puts them all the way back near their 15-yard line. And it's 2nd and 31. Ainge wants a screen. Back to the 32-yard line, still about 14 yards shy of a first down, as Briscoe, who's coming off a concussion last week, catches the flanker screen and got something out of it.
Another third down situation, and we mentioned coming into tonight that South Carolina's 6th best in the country on third down. Number 1 in the country was Kansas. And if you're looking for a secret to why Kansas is still undefeated, that's one. They get their defense off the field on third down.
South Carolina dominating here in the third quarter. Ainge with time throws underneath to Foster. Foster trapped and taken down at the 42. About 5 yards short of a first down, so they will force the kick. The momentum has clearly shifted to South Carolina. The question would be, are they good enough offensively to get 2 more touchdowns?
Well, Blake Mitchell stays hot, and if he continues to make good decisions with the ball, they looked like they had a little spark there to start the third quarter.
Colquitt to kick to Munnerlyn. Makes the fair catch at the 13-yard line. 45-yard punt, no return. Taste of the Town continues. Find out what Todd signed up for here in Knoxville. Mystery guest, will you sign in, please? ESPN's College Football Primetime is available on ESPN HD, presented by Pioneer Kuro HD TV. This one's got a chance to get interesting. It's 21-7. South Carolina takes over at its own 14-yard line. Boyd back in as at tailback. Pressure on Mitchell.
Beautiful.
Throws the out to McKinley. Well, I'll tell you what, Blake Mitchell looks right now just about as good as any quarterback you find in this game.
He looks confident. He looks comfortable. That was play action, which meant both tailbacks or both backs are staying in to help with the protection. So it's a 7-man protection. The fullback and tailback both stay in. Mitchell's able to step into the throw and throw on time to the deep out to McKinley. The true freshman Vincent giving a lot of cushion to McKinley out of respect for him.
Some night for McKinley, 10 carries, 114 yards, and Boyd taking off again for about 7 or 8. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, Kenny McKinley is an amazing story. When he signed with South Carolina, they signed him as a wide receiver, but when he got on campus, he had never taken a snap as a wide receiver. He'd been a quarterback in high school. Steve Spurrier was a little bit hesitant when he kind of inherited him, but they let him try at the position. Last year, he made a name for himself, really being the other go-to guy opposite of Sidney Rice. He had 51 catches, guys. Tonight, he's had about 9. He's almost there at the 8th game of the season.
He has become a premier receiver in the Premier League. That's another catch from McKinley. He's across midfield into Tennessee territory. It'll be a first down at the Vol 48.
And see, the problem for Tennessee is they know that they only have one go-to guy, but they don't feel confident that they have a lockdown corner. Their best defensive back is Jonathan Hefney, who is a safety. They're starting Brent Vincent, a true freshman, at one corner, who was a wide receiver 2 weeks ago. And they're starting D'Angelo Willingham, a junior, at the other corner, who's only in there because Marcellus Johnson hurt his knee and wasn't able to go tonight.
They lost their top 3 corners through a variety of academics and suspensions. Mitchell throws. That one's incomplete. As Mo Brown continued downfield and Mitchell threw out. He was double covered anyway. He wasn't going to get that one. They're getting a little nervous here at Tennessee, aren't they?
Well, you mentioned Steve Spurrier calls his own plays. He's one of only a handful, really, 14 coaches in the football bowl subdivision, or whatever that is.
Which one is that?
Division 1A.
Thank you.
Only one of 14 head coaches that call their own plays. I'll give you a couple other notables after this.
Mitchell, another short set. Another completion, a perfect throw to Jared Cook. And the big tight end rumbles his way inside the 30. Boy, is Mitchell hot.
He's throwing on rhythm. He's throwing on time. That offensive line giving enough protection. They tried to go to Jared Cook in the end zone. He wasn't able to come down with that one, but he makes a big play here. Watch, hits that last step, boom, ball's gone. Good protection, good quick read, ball out of your hand.
If he doesn't throw that to the opposite side, it's got a chance to be picked. That's a great throw by Mitchell. Boyd on the draw. Boyd! 10, 5, touchdown! What a run! What a third quarter for South Carolina. 14 carries, 135 yards for Corey Boyd. And he's down. Well, that's got to be cramps.
I'll tell you what. He put a move on Eric Berry, the strong safety, number 14, just left him frozen and broke it back outside for the touchdown. That was a beautiful run.
This guy is sweet. The point after to make it a one-possession game. .200 yards in offense for South Carolina in the third quarter.
Take a look again. Corey Boyd takes it on the draw, picks up a couple blocks from his wide receivers, and then makes people miss. Watch this last move. Stiff arm.
That was choice. So is this. Time for Todd's Taste of the Town.
Is there anything better than a great burger and some French fries? Well, here in Knoxville, Tennessee, there's a terrific place called Litton's. Now, it's been around since 1946. Actually started as a grocery store and a carry-out sandwich place. But for the last 25 years, it's been a full-time restaurant run by a third and fourth generation Litton, Barry, and his son, Eric. This place was popular for Peyton Manning and his family, and my favorite musical artist, Kenny Chesney, and I can see why. Homemade buns from the bakery, fresh cut French fries every day. They grind their own beef, and they go through 3,000 burgers a week. This is a beautiful bacon cheddar cheeseburger with some grilled onions. Welcome home.
This is the most fun, you know, in our show. Is this that this has been such a huge success. I did notice you've expanded now. First, you're getting the free food. Then you mentioned, please. Then you mentioned Kenny Chesney. Now you're shooting for free tickets to a concert. What else is in here?
That'd be good, because I do like Kenny Chesney.
You got a clothing deal as part of this?
Not yet. I got the Indians hat on, so I'm working on that angle too.
Tennessee trying to answer. They get it out to the 34-yard line. People on the airplane, whether it's me, you, Holly, our production guys, they don't want to answer any football questions. I mean, you know, it's where's Todd going to eat?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. I ran into a van of 9 guys that from Chicago here. Now, this right here, that was special. That is red velvet cake, and I'll tell you what. Now, that's a chili dog on the end. I didn't
That's
eat
a what?
that. I mean, that's somewhere underneath there is a hot dog. All right? But the red velvet cake, you know, my wife and my mother both make red velvet cake, but at the expense of being locked out when I get home, that was the best I've ever had.
I don't see any red velvet cake up here.
Do you like red velvet cake?
Please. It's got sugar in it. Foster. Now it's time for Tennessee to respond.
You know, finish up one story. I walked out of the hotel today to go for a run, and there's a van of 9 guys from Chicago that pick one game a year to go to every year. And this was the game they picked. And I walk in, they recommend, hey, Todd, how you doing? The only question they asked me, where'd you eat here in Knoxville? Didn't ask me about the game, nothing. That's kind of the story of my life right now.
National championship quarterback, first-round draft choice, Heisman finalist, and they want to know where you're eating.
Food aficionado.
Foster picking his way, has a first down up at the 45. This is the challenge to Tennessee. You've been hit in the mouth twice here in the third quarter. They've cut it from 21-0 to 21-14. You've got to respond.
You have to respond, but you have to respond with the knowledge that, hey, we're still winning the game. We're not behind. Yes, they've made a little comeback. They've made a run, but we're still the team winning. Let's keep our aggressiveness, and let's make an answer. And that's why you like having a senior quarterback like Eric Ainge right now to run the show.
Ainge looks to the sideline for the play. He's had great protection tonight. Ainge throws. That one's too high. Boy, and that could have easily been a penalty on Emmanuel Cook as he got a little shot in there at the end and then tried to hold the receiver up so it didn't look that bad.
This ball sailed a little bit on Eric Ainge. Ball got up high. Rodgers not able to come down with it. And there's the hit, and you're right. He tried to hold him up at the end.
Got his helmet right in the chest. You love Cook's aggressiveness, but that could have been another big mistake for South Carolina. Kind of thing that just killed him in the first hit. Coker is in at tailback on 2nd and 10.
South Carolina showing man free. Man coverage with a free safety.
Ainge throws underneath. That's complete for a first down to the 42-yard line.
See, there was a play called, and then Eric Ainge stopped and looked to the sidelines, and he saw free safety, single coverage everywhere right here. So he worked this route right here, and he threw it before the free safety could be a factor. He knew what he had coverage-wise. He stuck it in there before the safety could be any help, and a first down for the Volunteers.
Austin Rogers made the catch, and Coker made a great block on Norwood so Ainge could throw the ball. Taylor. Boy, Norwood, what a solid tackle that is.
And he's everywhere. I mean, he plays what they call the bandit end, which is kind of a hybrid position. So sometimes he's on the line, sometimes he's like a linebacker. This time he's playing out in space. Watch how sure the tackling. Now, he's also a guy who can put his hand on the ground and line up and rush the passer from an end position. But he plays with great intensity and great enthusiasm, and he's made a ton of big plays. Sacks, fumble recoveries. He scored a couple touchdowns against Kentucky. Big play guy.
260-pounder who can move in space. You don't get a lot of those. Ainge. Flag is down.
Boy, late flag, too.
Sure was.
The only thing I'm thinking that might have been was a lineman downfield, possibly, because of where the flag came from.
And South Carolina indicates it's against Tennessee. Interference. Could have been a pick.
Yeah, could have been. Yep. Because that guy was out there all by himself.
Yes, he was.
Nobody to account for him.
Usually doesn't happen that way by accident.
Pass interference, number 28, offense, 15-yard penalty, remains second down.
Yeah, it was Chris Brown who caught the pass, got called for pushing off. When he went in on his route, he went into the defender and then pushed off. Watch, he goes right into him, makes contact, and then clears himself out into space. Offensive pass interference.
Nice basketball move. Yep. You can get away with it. But he didn't. And it's 2nd and 23. It's a huge turnaround. They were in field goal range with the completion. Ainge again, great protection. Throws over the middle, and that one was complete to Gerald Jones, only his 3rd catch of the year. He is just coming back from an arm injury, and what a strike from Ainge.
Yeah, just beautiful throw on rhythm. Watch Eric Ainge as he goes back. Here's what he sees. Watch right there now. He sees an opening in between those linebackers, and that's where he throws the ball. He throws it to a spot and lets his receiver run to that open spot.
South Carolina came into this game leading the nation in pass defense. And Ainge has had a pretty good night against them. That is the end of the third quarter. Now we've got a close ball game with 15 minutes to go from Knoxville. It's 21-14. Happy 75th. 12 conference games decided by 6 points or fewer, and this one is headed in that direction. Smokey looks a little nervous. Big third down here. Ainge goes to the shotgun. Blitz coming. Ainge throws underneath, incomplete. Stewart got a hand on it. Good defensive play. It was intended for Cottom, the tight end. Now 4th and 3 from here, about a 50-yard field goal if you want to try that. No sign of the kicking unit. This is that area where it's pretty easy to go on 4th down. If you punt, the ball goes to the end zone. You only pick up 14 yards. So not much to lose. Just inside the 31 is the yard to make. Ainge the deep out, incomplete. Crowd wants a flag, they're not going to get it. Carlos Thomas on the coverage.
Well, 4th and relatively short, but Eric Ainge saw a one-on-one matchup and opted to go for the big play. He's got his guy going against Carlos Thomas. I think that's a good no call. They got a little tangled up in the lower body. Not a lot of contact and just a slight overthrow by Eric Ainge.
Gerald Jones, the 6-foot freshman, stretched out, tried to get it. And all at once, South Carolina now down by only 7. All the momentum in the world, and they have the ball back. Can Mitchell keep it up? He has been on fire since he came in the game. And Mitchell wants a bunch on 1st down, overthrew Kenny McKinley.
Just has to get that more to the middle. That's why Blake Mitchell's grabbing his head right now, because he had one-on-one and there was no middle safety. So if he throws that more towards the middle of the field and lets his receiver run to it, he might get it.
If you're Tennessee, why is there not a safety in the middle of the field right now? Are you that concerned about the run? You should see the numbers on the 2 quarterbacks.
I think the safety did come up on the run fake on 1st down. Blake Mitchell, the guy with the hot hand. Steve Spurrier is always going to go with the hot hand at quarterback.
Davis is the running back in this series. He goes out in the flat. Mitchell over the middle, complete. It's another 1st down. Let's check in with Reese.
All right, Mike, #1 team in the country is doing what #1 teams ought to do, going on the road and taking care of business. Ohio State against Penn State. Todd Beckman on a 3rd and short. Little play fake finds Jake Ballard in the end zone. 24-7. It's on ABC HD. And Kansas just recovered the onside kick attempt by Texas A&M. Looks as if the Jayhawks are going to stay perfect. It's 19-11.
All right, thanks, Reese. Mitchell goes back. Davis on the delay, breaks a tackle. Davis running hard down to the 35.
They've got him on the ropes right now.
Yes, they do.
I mean, even though Tennessee is leading, defensively, they're backpedaling right now. South Carolina has clearly been the aggressor with their offense in the 2nd half, and they are taking it right to this Tennessee defense. And the beauty of being only 7 down here to start the 4th quarter is that Steve Spurrier can run and pass. They can stay in the I formation. They can go play action and have a little better pass protection and also run the football.
Total dominance by South Carolina here in the 2nd half after they were shut out in the 1st. Good play coming off the corner that time by linebacker Rico McCoy.
Yep. McCoy and Gerard Mayo are the 2 guys that have played really consistently for this defense, even though their numbers as a team have not been all that good. Those 2 linebackers have played well all season. That time McCoy just beat the block of the fullback Stafford and made a play in the backfield.
They've had 3 guys who have played like all-stars for John Chavis. They just haven't gotten a lot of help. Mitchell with time again underneath. Down to the 24. First down, South Carolina. Jared Cook, who has served basically as the second wide receiver because they haven't found a complement yet to Kenny McKinley.
There he is. He's just going to cross the field, and he's going to go right in front of Blake Mitchell's vision, and that's Jerod Mayo, the linebacker, trying to run behind him. Got late start off the ball, and Jared Cook with a big catch for the first down.
1st and 10, South Carolina. They have moved at will against Tennessee. Mitchell. Complete pass to Cook again. What a blitz pickup. Mayo was coming, had Mitchell in his sight, and Mike Davis stepped up and stoned him.
You're right. Mayo's going to come right in here, and this is what the back has to do. Make the collision, give the quarterback time. Boom! Take him on, chest high, knock him down, let the quarterback have vision down the field.
That is a sensational play. Davis gets the carry, hit and taken down. If you go back to that last play, not only does he have to recognize that immediately, he's got to get around his quarterback without interfering with him and then sacrifice himself to make that play.
As long as the quarterback is under the center, that's why sometimes if you anticipate that blitz, you move that back up so that he's already in front of you. But they didn't do that. That really required Davis to get there quickly and then have the strength to take on the blitz.
That was as good a block by a back as you will ever see. Mitchell on 2nd and 14. Fakes it one way, comes back the other way on the screen. Got it to his tight end, Boyd. And Boyd is inside the 10. Here's Holly.
Well, guys, we're getting a heavy dose of Mike Davis right now. Corey Boyd was slow to get up after that last touchdown run. When he came to the sideline, he told one of his teammates, man, my leg just gave out on me. It was his left leg, but he's standing here right by the coaching staff, helmet on. It looks like he can still play, guys. I think it's just a choice of fresh legs of Mike Davis right now.
It sure won't be any question of wanting to play. This kid's got a great heart. South Carolina, how impressive has this been in the second half?
Blake Mitchell, the offensive line, everybody. Kenny McKinley making big plays. Big third down here now. Play clock inside of 5.
Mitchell with time to the end zone. Touchdown, McKinley. Are you kidding?
They stop guys short on the goal line to hold the coverage. This is vintage Steve Spurrier. Saw them do this in Florida with Danny Werfel many, many times. Get one guy to the back of the end zone and throw over the top for the touchdown.
All they can do is shake their head here at Tennessee. 105,000 people are stunned. McKinley just made his 11th catch for 131 yards. And Suckup lines it through. South Carolina with a tremendous comeback. 21 points in less than 19 minutes. And we're tied in Knoxville. (21-21) with 11:11 to go. And here's the score by quarter. Talk about a turnaround.
Well, take a look at this now. It's 3 cover guys, okay? And there's 2 receivers. This receiver is going to occupy defenders 1 and 2. That's going to leave Kenny McKinley to get to this part of the field. And you know what? That's money right there. That is money. Watch this route develop. Hold the underneath coverage, get one guy behind him, and throw a nice little touch pass to the back part of the end zone. Beautiful.
What a night for McKinley. What a night for Mitchell coming off the bench. 14 out of 22 in this half. And they started down 21-0. They have scored 21 unanswered. Coker wants to reverse his field, looking for a block. out to the 34. We'll take you back to the last meeting in Knoxville for tonight's Good Hand Flashback presented by Allstate. October 29, 2005, Peyton Manning's number was retired. And as it had happened so often when Peyton was there, it was a struggle for Tennessee. Late in the second quarter, Arian Foster fumbles would have put Tennessee up by 12. Midway through the fourth quarter, James Wilhoit gave the Vols the lead. A 43-yard field goal. Josh Brown hit it from 49 yards out. South Carolina got its only win ever in Knoxville, 16-15. And it was under Steve Spurrier. Right now, if you're Tennessee, what do you do?
Well, you don't panic. That's the first thing you do. You don't panic, and you count on your quarterback, a veteran, to make some plays for you.
Ainge will go to the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Pressure coming, wants a screen, has to throw it away. Intended for Foster.
Back-to-back plays, Eric Ainge has had to throw it away. Now, the crowd is booing, but David Cutcliffe told us, sometimes you got to be willing to be booed for doing what's right. And that was right. The 2 plays in a row, they covered what Tennessee tried to do. There's no sense in forcing the issue here.
There's a big deal being made out of the fact South Carolina, or that Tennessee's only given up 2 sacks, but South Carolina is now getting pressure, whether they get the sacks or not. 3rd and 10. This is a huge play. If they get a 3-and-out and South Carolina gets the ball back, it's trouble for Tennessee. Ainge has got to keep this drive alive. Throws almost intercepted.
Wow. That was a bad series of plays for Tennessee.
Poor throw there. Addison Williams had a hand on it, nearly picked it.
Well, this was a miscommunication between quarterback and receiver. Ainge threw it deep. Austin Rogers broke it out. Addison Williams almost came down with it.
What an effort.
Not only a 3-and-out, but a bad 3-and-out.
Yeah.
I mean, not even close on 3 straight incomplete passes.
3 out of 4 Tennessee drives in this half have been 3-and-outs. Captain Munnerlyn waits at his 25. Signals fair catch, has to backpedal all the way to the 18-yard line. 48-yard kick, no return. Holly, what do you have?
Well, guys, this is a homecoming of sorts for Steve Spurrier. He grew up just 106 miles away in Johnson City, Tennessee. Now, his daddy was a Presbyterian minister, and he said, we didn't have a lot of money, but every once in a while, my dad could scrounge up some tickets, and they would bring us over here to the volunteer games. He said, it used to give me chills to be in the stadium and hear the PA announcer say, it's football time in Tennessee. Guys, he said, it's not quite the same as coming home now as the coach of South Carolina, but he's the only coach to come in here with 3 different teams and win, so I'd say he feels right at home.
Pretty remarkable statistics there. 3 different teams he has won here in this legendary facility. South Carolina, 1st and 10. Blake Mitchell in trouble, avoids the sack, and takes it out to the 21-yard line.
Well, once again, Blake Mitchell buying some time, avoiding the negative play, and making something out of nothing. What have they done in the second half? Well, that's pretty efficient. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, 39, 86, and 66 yards apiece.
Steve's brother is here tonight. A couple of family members make the trip. Tennessee showing blitz. South Carolina's blocked them very well here in the second half. Over the middle, and that's caught by McKinley again. Let's check in with Reese.
All right, Mike, got a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update for you. Boston trying to take a 3-0 lead in the World Series. They lead Colorado 6-0 as they head to the bottom of the 5th. Daisuke Matsuzaka with a 2-run single for the Red Sox in their 6-run 3rd inning. Yankees going to make their managerial decision on Monday. It'll be Joe Girardi, Don Mattingly, or Tony Pena. An announcement expected on Tuesday. SportsCenter after the game. College football final follows that. Stay current with ESPN News.
3rd and short. McKinley makes another catch, turns it into a 1st down and more. McKinley stepped out of bounds, his 13th catch tonight.
But you know what? The other thing now, Blake Mitchell, yes. Kenny McKinley, yes. But how about this South Carolina offensive line in the second
They deserve
half?
a lot of credit.
They deserve tremendous credit. They are keeping their quarterback safe right now. He's able to throw on time. He's able to throw with rhythm. You know, they have had problems inside. In 8 games, they've played 5 different starting guards. They're trying to find the right combinations. Well, here in the second half, they got it going on.
And let's be honest about it. In the first half, they were lousy.
They were. They struggled. They're not struggling right now.
What was it, 7 sacks last week they gave up? Draw play. Boyd back in the ball game, nursing that bad leg across midfield into Tennessee territory.
Remember we said the first half, South Carolina looked like their defense was playing uphill?
Yeah.
Tennessee's defense is playing uphill right now. We mentioned the 3 scoring drives of South Carolina, but their first drive of the third quarter went all the way down to the 2-yard line. They opted to go for it on 4th down, didn't make it. They have not been even close to being stopped.
Corey Boyd is averaging 10 yards a carry, 15 tries at it tonight for 150 yards. They are just racking up some serious numbers against Tennessee's defense in the second half.
Did that say 300 yards in the second half?
Now, the way the rule reads, if a player is in the neutral zone and draws the offense offside, the penalty is on the defense. That's what it appeared to be. If you let that guy get back out of the neutral zone and then you move, it's going to be on the offense.
Dead ball, offside. Number 99 on the defense was in the neutral zone, causing a false start. Therefore, it is offside. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I thought I said that. JT Mapu jumped.
Get you a striped shirt.
No thanks.
And a whistle.
Just don't make me a linesman.
Well, it should make you the umpire so you can make those touchdown calls.
Yeah, but the umpire can't make them.
You'd get that change in.
Yes, I would. I'd make him anyway. Boyd. Not much there. Well, Tennessee just looking to try to make any kind of play. Robert Ayers made that tackle.
Well, this is an offense at South Carolina that coming into tonight had some problems. Blake Mitchell tonight on fire, protecting the football. Corey Boyd running with strength, power, and Kenny McKinley, the go-to receiver, having a career night.
Those are some serious stats right there.
Man.
Clock running. Under 8.5 minutes to go. 2nd and 5. Blitz coming. Mitchell unloads. Complete to the tight end. Close to a first down. Second effort. Right at the sticks, Jared Cook.
I think he got it with the second effort. It depends on if it's that left foot or the right foot of the official over there. Left foot spot or right foot spot. But again, Blake Mitchell drifting back from the pressure. Knows he's got an unblocked man coming at him. Buys enough time to make the throw. Watch Blake Mitchell know he's got an unblocked guy coming at him and just drift away far enough to make the throw to Cook.
Now, this is the experience and the intelligence of a 5th-year senior. He is using all of his experience to good purpose. Cook, 4 catches, 49 yards in the second half. Boyd again, gaping hole. Got to the 31, and that's a great open field tackle there.
You know, I just wonder whether John Chavis may not want to take a timeout just to regroup his defense and just talk to him, just to let him get a break, get a drink of water, but also just to say, hey, guys, we've got to stop the bleeding here. We are bleeding to death.
I agree with you. I don't think that happens enough. I think timeouts are very strategic things, not necessarily to be held until the end. I think it'd be great for them if they did it. South Carolina has been overwhelming on both sides of the ball in the second half. Mitchell. How did Boyd get that one? Got out of a pile, and Boyd to the 24. It's another first down for South Carolina. Here's Reese Davis.
All right, Mike, we're going to get you up to date. Cal and Arizona State underway. Arizona State, one of the 5 remaining unbeaten. Rudy Carpenter Feeling a little bit of heat and coughing up the ball. Cameron Jordan scoop and score. So far, Arizona State has minus 10 yards, and Cal's on the move again, up 7. Ohio State just kicked a field goal. They're up 17 on Penn State. Kansas remains unbeaten, winning at Kyle Field.
All right, Reese, and we have a remarkable comeback story here. Boyd limped off. Davis is back in as the tailback. Remember, Boyd had that bad leg earlier. Davis on the draw. 20, breaks a tackle. Ball's loose. Did a whistle blow or not? No signal.
Now it's Tennessee's ball. Now it's ruled a fumble, so they can review this and determine whether the call stands. Because it was called a fumble, it can be reviewed. They're ripping it out. It's out before he's down. No question that ball was out.
If the whistle did not blow, his lack of forward progress will not matter.
Now the question is, did Davis have it on the ground first the second time? The ball comes out right here. Now the ball's out. Who gets it when it's on the ground? Does Davis have it first? Nope. He has it. Wow. That's hard to call there.
Simultaneous possession goes to the offense.
Well, Steve Spurrier wants him to look at it, and I think they're going to. Or did Steve...
Well, Tennessee was trying to get the ball snapped. That's how concerned they were about it.
Now, he was not down when the ball was ripped out. It's a matter of, was he down when they pulled it out of his arms at the end of the play? When you're fighting for extra yardage, and one guy's got you stood up, that's what defenses are taught to do. D'Angelo Willingham's just in there ripping at the ball. Nice play by him to rip it out. Who has the football? That looks like simultaneous possession.
Goes right back to Davis. Willingham is on top of him. It was ruled on the field that Tennessee had recovered, so it's going to have to be indisputable that South Carolina got it back.
Boy, is this a big call.
After review, video evidence confirms the call on the field and fumble. First down.
I don't think there's any question it was a fumble.
No, I don't know if it confirms the call, but I don't know if there's enough there to overrule it.
But it was a nice play.
That Tennessee defense steps up and makes a play with 6:52 to go in the game to prevent South Carolina from going ahead.
And that was a challenge by Steve Spurrier to review that, and because it didn't go in his favor, not only does he lose it, but he loses a timeout. So South Carolina down to their final timeout here with 6:52 left.
It's the only mistake they've made in this half, and it could cost them the ball game. Ames draw play to Foster. The South Carolina defense has stood tall the entire second half.
Tennessee still has to do something. Offensively, they have been complacent, and they've allowed this South Carolina team to take control of the game, to take control of the momentum.
67 yards in total offense in the second half. And look at the play domination, 44-18. Tennessee's defense has got to be totally gassed right now. Haynes, flanker screen, nothing doing.
Play by
Captain Munnerlyn. It's about time he got promoted to major, isn't it? This kid's good.
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't make this play, Tennessee has a chance for a big one.
Yeah.
But he reads it, he gets inside the block, and he makes the tackle for a loss of yardage. Not only a short gain, but a loss of yardage, and now 3rd and 10 for Tennessee.
10 tackles for Munnerlyn as a corner.
4 of 12 on 3rd down tonight against this South Carolina defense.
Ainge with plenty of time. Munnerlyn! The major intercepts. It's a battlefield promotion.
All right, watch Captain Munnerlyn now up here. Here he is. Watch this play develop. He's going to read the route and make a decision. Right here, boom, he sees it. He leaves his man and comes right to this spot for the pick. He read the route, and he came underneath and made the play. That is a heads-up play by the best cover corner on the South Carolina team, Captain Munnerlyn.
Terrific recognition and execution.
My.
South Carolina with 5:35 to go in the game sets up shop at the 30. Boyd is back in as the tailback. Incomplete pass intended for Cook.
Mike
Davis.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to be the go to this one.
He owed his heart.
It bailed out by Munnerlyn.
And for Eric Ainge, only his 5th interception of the season.
That's right. He has protected the ball so well.
Munnerlyn just made an instinctive play on him. He thought he had single coverage, and Munnerlyn fell back off of that to make the pick.
And that's almost impossible for a quarterback to read, isn't it? Mitchell has been lights out in the second half. Under pressure. Throws incomplete. There is a flag down. If this is a hold, it takes them back out of field goal range.
Sure does. And that's right in the area where the flag came down.
And the offensive line for the Gamecocks had been so good in the second half.
Holding, number 63. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Seaver Brown, the redshirt freshman left guard.
Yeah, here he is right here, and Mapu's going to make an inside move, and he's just going to get beat right off the snap and instinctively just reach out and grab to try to protect his quarterback. And that is a costly penalty.
You know, it was almost a bad call because he missed him so badly. It didn't even look like he held him. Mitchell, flanker screen. It's complete to McKinley, but far short of a first down. 14 catches. That ties an all-time record single game by Zola Davis in 1998. Look at these numbers.
It's amazing, too, when you remember that he's the go-to guy. They don't have another go-to receiver. Tennessee knows that. Everybody knows that. Now, Kenny McKinley, after that play, got up hobbling a little bit. Looks like he might have twisted his ankle a little bit at the end of that screen play.
He's limping. Boyd's limping. 3rd and 17. They need to get part of this back to have a field goal shot. It would be a long try.
I don't think they got the play off. I think the 25-second clock ran out on Blake Mitchell.
Heck of a time to let that happen.
As if 3rd and 17 wasn't tough enough. How about 3rd and 22?
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Now, if you're Blake Mitchell right now, you're not thinking a 22-yard play necessarily. Right. You're thinking 10 to 15. At least give ourselves a shot. 2 years ago, when they came in here, they won on a 49-yard Josh Brown field goal with 2:45 left to win 16 to 15. You're thinking, get in range for Ryan Suckup to make a shot at it.
They need about 15 yards for a 45-yard try. No gimme even then. Pressure coming on Mitchell. Deep down the middle. Throws it up for grabs. Almost intercepted. And now it is.
Now that is the one thing you cannot do if you're Blake Mitchell.
Ryan Carl on the tip drill. And South Carolina makes a horrible mistake on this drive, and Tennessee gets it back.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by Chevy, an American Revolution.
Welcome back to Knoxville, Tennessee. Just another lousy Saturday night ESPN college football game. 21 all with 4:05 to go. Tennessee starts from its 17. Ainge out in the flat, picks up 3. That's it. And a horrible mistake by South Carolina killed that last drive.
Well, it really did. And Blake Mitchell, all second half, has done a nice job eluding pressure and making a play, but he's backed away from pressure to throw underneath. Right now, he's got to throw here and just take his chances. Instead, he tries to work it to McKinley, but he throws late down the middle of the field. You never throw late down the middle, because that happens. The ball gets knocked around. Ryan Carl comes up with the interception.
And Munnerlyn is down for South Carolina.
Looks like cramps.
Yes, it does.
He's had a busy night. Wow.
Back in a moment. All right, we're not going away. And Munnerlyn, boy, his legs are just seized up right now. And man, that hurts.
That hurts bad. I mean, he has had a monster night. He's their best cover corner. Let's see if Tennessee doesn't try to capitalize on that again. The freshman, Addison Williams, is in the game. He's down here.
Ainge. Well, it just had nowhere to go with it. A terrific coverage by South Carolina.
Coverage, pressure forces him out. Eric Norwood getting after it.
Is he any good?
He's good. He's fun to watch. I mean, he is so active.
I mean, he's got NFL linebacker written all over him at 260.
What you love about him is his intensity that he plays every play with. You know, some guys play great 2 plays and then they take a play off, or 2 plays off. This guy doesn't take any plays off.
And Tennessee has taken no time off the clock, and they face a 3rd down here, trying to keep the drive alive. Blitz coming. Ainge hangs in there and throws high, incomplete. It'll be 4th and 6.
You know, he threw high, but the coverage was so good. I mean, that was Addison Williams, the true freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia, covering the crossing route, and he was right in the hip pocket of the intended receiver. And Ainge really didn't have a good shot to get the ball in there. Ainge now in his last 10 passes, 2 of 10 for 3 yards and an interception.
Kenny McKinley, the receiving star, waits back at the 40 for Colquitt, who has had another sensational night punting the ball. Number 2 all-time on the Tennessee career punting list, sandwiched among 4 other Colquitts. Fair catch at the 42. South Carolina has the ball with 3:18 left. Can Steve Spurrier do it one more time to Tennessee?
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 15, John Elway. This 2-time Pac-10 Player of the Year was a threat to score on any play. He finished his career at Stanford with 77 touchdown passes and broke nearly every conference passing record. IBM, getting it done.
Well, what a player. Number 14 through number 3 next Saturday through the end of the regular season. Then on January 1st at 2 bowl games, we'll give you number 1 and number 2. Mitchell from the shotgun. Blitz coming. Mitchell throws underneath. Complete again. That's Freddie Brown. Let's go to Reese Davis.
All right, a little dessert, a little cherry on the topping for Ohio State stumping of Penn State. The Buckeye defense pretty much frozen it in Lion offense all night. Anthony Morelli had his troubles in the 4th quarter. First pass in the 4th quarter goes the other way, courtesy of Malcolm Jenkins. 34-10 is the score there. Cal up on top of Arizona State, 13-0, just moving to the 2nd quarter in Tempe.
Reese, and this is for control of the SEC East. The team that wins this game will control its own destiny. Boyd on the draw. Nice play by Rico McCoy, who's made several big plays tonight.
The biggest thing for South Carolina right now in this drive is to take care of the football. I mean, they have not been stopped except by themselves this entire second half. First drive, they went all the way to the 2. and missed on 4th down. The next 3 drives, touchdown. The next 2 drives, turnovers. So, I mean, it's just a matter of taking care of the football. Tennessee has not found the answer to how to stop the run or the pass of South Carolina here in the second half.
339 yards in the second half alone. Another blitz coming. Mitchell throws, complete again to Freddie Brown. But not much of a gain. He's down to the 42. They have to reach the 37 for a first down.
4 turnovers tonight for South Carolina. 4 turnovers last week at home in the 17-6 loss to Vanderbilt. 3 turnovers in the loss to Tennessee last year in Columbia. Can they overcome 4 turnovers and still find a way to get one here in Knoxville?
Succop's career long 55 yards. Mitchell takes a deep drop, throws to the sideline. Is it enough for a first down? Just got it, I think.
Well, Jared Cook has been a nice target. He's a big athletic tight end, 6'5", 235, crossing route, and he's able to get separation from the linebackers. That was Rico McCoy in coverage that time. Jared Cook did a nice job of stretching that ball past the first down marker before he ran out of bounds. You see that at the goal line. You don't normally see that at the 35-yard line.
Boyd on the draw. And Tennessee has done a better job in the last couple of series on that draw play. South Carolina playing it real cool here, just working the clock down.
Remember, they only have that 1 timeout because of the Spurrier challenge. And Tennessee's going to use a timeout here.
Smart.
Yeah. I think it could have been smarter earlier, but I think it's smart again right here. They've got all 3. Make sure you got the right defense called, the right people on the field.
What a ball game. A tale of 2 halves. 1:38 left. Welcome back to ESPN's College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. What a ball game. South Carolina behind Blake Mitchell's career highs, 29 out of 41. And 289 yards have come back from a 21-0 deficit. Succop hoping for a chance on the sideline. He is hit from 55. That's about right where they are right now.
I think you're thinking one more first down for sure, and you get into a more comfortable range for Ryan Succop.
Nearly stumbled, turns it outside, got out of bounds at the 31. Boy, this kid is so good. From here, it would be from 48 yards. Succop in practice in the pregame, 51 yards. And there's, what, 7-8 yards to spare on that one?
Definitely got the leg. Of course, a little different when your holder doesn't even have his helmet on, and there's nobody around there and nobody rushing. Those goalposts look a little bit wider than they do in a situation like this.
Boyd has 161 yards on 20 carries.
Oh my gosh, they're using their last timeout.
Mitchell didn't like the play he had called against what Tennessee was doing. There's plenty of time on the clock, though. Let's take a look at our ESPNU All-State standings review. Not a real onslaught of upsets, finally, this weekend. Ohio State is winning. Boston College in the game that you did on Thursday night won. LSU with a bye. Arizona State is losing. Virginia Tech lost on Thursday night. South Florida lost to UConn. What an enormous season UConn is having. So not a terrible shakeup in the Big Ten or in the top 10. West Virginia should move up. They were impressive against Rutgers.
I think a couple of the ones that stand out to me there. I mean, the Boston College game, obviously I was at. Matt Ryan in the last 2 minutes was spectacular. Oregon, even though I think they were favored in that game, I think a lot of people maybe still look at that as a bit of an upset, beating USC. And then Connecticut, the only undefeated team left in the Big East Conference.
Chris and Craig gave you tofu that night. Bizarre. Tofu's a doorstop. Third down, Mitchell on a half roll. And throws incomplete, intended for McKinley.
Boy, they had him. He was wide open. He was absolutely open. open. He would have been in nice field goal range for Succop, and Blake Mitchell, of all the good passes he hit tonight, not able to hit that one.
Let's go to Holly.
Guys, I've been watching Succop's demeanor here on the sideline. People keep coming up, tapping him on the helmet, trying to get him geeked up. He keeps trying to shake it off and smile. He's been laughing and loose. One thing to keep in mind, though, there's a pretty stiff wind at the top of the stadium. You can see the flags blowing, not as severe down here on the field.
This will be Holly from 49 yards.
That's what beat Tennessee in 2005. A 49-yard field goal by Josh Brown. Philip Fulmer calls a timeout to make Ryan Succop think a little bit more about it.
The second Tennessee timeout with 1:30 on the clock. Boy, if you're a Tennessee fan, you were already starting to party at halftime up 21-0. Your team was dominating South Carolina at home. And they have almost thrown it all away in the second half.
How crazy is this, though? 2 years ago, Steve Spurrier brought South Carolina in here, an underdog, never have won in Knoxville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
12 in a row. And with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, Josh Brown kicked a 49-yard field goal to win. Here they are 2 years later, back in Knoxville with 1:30 left in the game. And Ryan Succop with a chance to win it with a 49-yard, or at least put them in the lead.
Spurrier's a guy who finds a way to get it done. He always has, probably always will. Succop to take the lead from 49 yards. It's good. Now it's up to Eric Ainge. Blake Mitchell with a brilliant game off the bench in relief of the redshirt freshman Chris Smelly, and Succop puts the exclamation mark on it.
Never a doubt. I mean, that was true. That was bomb straight through. Never a question. Great lift, great distance, right through the arches.
Man, that would have been good from 55. He just crushed that thing.
Well, now, after he celebrates, he's got to turn around and make a good kickoff here.
Yes, he
because
does.
We've seen a number of games where a score late, it looks like the momentum has changed, and a bad kick or a bad kick coverage that lets the team have good field position to start a winning drive.
And Corey Boyd has been part of an enormous comeback for South Carolina here in the second half.
But it's not over yet. His night might be over, but the South Carolina defense has some chicken left on the bone, my friend.
You are absolutely right. 1:24 to go in the game. Tennessee would use one of its timeouts to try to freeze Succop. Now only has one timeout left, but with 1:24 to go, remember, they just have to get close enough for a field goal. Coker and Rogan are deep. Coker, who can fly from the 10. Still on his feet, looking for a block. Can he get to the outside? Bumped out of bounds at the 47-yard line. What a return. Taylor Rank saved further damage.
How many times have we seen that? We were at the Arkansas-Auburn game. Arkansas scored late to take the lead. They kick off out of bounds. They have to re-kick, and Brad Lester returns it out to the 50-yard line. Well, here we are again. Tennessee to start a game-winning potential drive, or at least a game-tying, out near the 50-yard line.
And Daniel Lincoln, their freshman field goal kicker, with quite a strong leg himself. Can Ainge get them close enough for a field goal, or can they even get a touchdown? Throw it underneath, pick up 7. one of the Tennessee players is hurt. Looks like the left tackle, Eric Young, who had been nicked coming into this game.
Jock McClendon, number 65, is coming into the football game now for Tennessee. It is Eric Young. He's their only senior starter on that offensive line.
Boy, they have protected Ainge beautifully again tonight. Has that unit. Let's update you on the SEC East standings. The winner of this game will be in control. Georgia shocked Florida this afternoon. South Carolina and Tennessee each with 2 losses. Either one of those teams would have the advantage of the tiebreaker if they win tonight. The other one would fall into virtually a tie for 4th place with 3 losses. So this is just an enormous game in the SEC East. Munnerlyn at least walking, Holly, with those cramps.
Guys, they've had him on the sideline here, icing down the back of his calves with big bags of ice. He's cramping up just tremendously, but he's trying to jog along here, trying to walk stiffly. He's not going to be in on this play unless things dramatically improve. But, guys, that really hurts because he's definitely been their best secondary guy tonight.
Problem with cramps, he runs 5 yards and he's got cramps again.
And you can't afford to take the chance that he's going to cramp up in coverage. I mean, as good as he is and as good as he's played tonight, you really can't risk it if you're Tyrone Nix, the defensive coordinator, to put him in the game with the risk of that happening. Because if he cramps up and falls down and they throw a touchdown over his head, it's lights out.
And it's not a question with cramps of playing through the pain.
No.
You can't play through cramps.
No, it's called lockup.
Yes.
I mean, I've been there. I had that happen, and when it happens in a game like this, you can't catch up. You can't, it takes time to fix it. And lots of fluid.
Ainge straight back again out in the flat.
Great effort to get the first down. Did he get it or not? But Chris Brown, number 28, didn't get the first down, but he got out of bounds to stop the clock just short of the first. Tremendous effort by Chris Brown, though, reaching forward with the football.
It looked like a few seconds ran off the clock before they stopped it. Stopped at 49 seconds. Now the officials are going to talk it over.
I think you're going to put some more time
The player
on the
was
clock.
out of bounds. Please set the game clock to 55 seconds. 55.
Good work of officiating there.
If you're going forward when you go out of bounds, they'll give it to you. If you're going sideways or backwards, the clock will still run even though you go out of bounds if contact has been made on the field of play. 3rd and inches. This is obviously 2-down territory. Foster, first down and more. Lost the ball.
It's still loose.
Tennessee got it back. Holy cow. And it results in a huge gain.
And it's Jock McClendon, the guy who came in for the injured Eric Young. Maybe didn't even know he was going to play tonight for sure. Not only does he get in the game, but he gets in and falls on a fumble.
Hampton knocked it away, and it looked like South Carolina would have the ball, and the game's over.
And they gained about 8 or 9 yards on the result of that fumble.
They got within pretty good field goal range as the result of the fumble and the recovery. Ainge throws complete. They'll mark this at the 18-yard line, and Tennessee is going to use a timeout with 28 seconds to go. From here, it will be only a 35-yard field goal attempt to tie. We've had some pretty good SEC finishes this year, haven't we, folks?
Oh, my goodness.
John Parker Wilson, jump ball, caught the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama. Holy cow. Stafford wants it all. Touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. How cool is Wes Byram? And the Gators go down at home. Flynn is back to I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. I don't know if I can take many more of these. This has just been fascinating.
It really has. It's been phenomenal to watch, and we're headed for another one. I mean, right here, I mean, Jeremy Lincoln, a freshman kicker, a chance to maybe kick a field goal to put him into overtime, but they also, with 28 seconds, have a shot to go for the end zone. Maybe not Les Miles here, you know, because the clock is stopped right now, but with a veteran quarterback in Eric Ainge, Phillip Fulmer may decide to take a shot to win it with a touchdown.
And if you're Tennessee, I'm scared of overtime as much as South Carolina's been able to move the ball. Ainge in trouble. Lost the ball again.
Oh, my goodness.
For only the third time.
And they have no timeouts. He's got to spike the ball to kill the clock right here.
That's only the third sack of the year. Now Ainge has got to spike it. He does with 9 seconds left, and here comes the field goal team. So they go from a 35-yard, relatively easy field goal to a 45-yard.
Casper Brinkley with the huge sack of Eric Ainge.
What a time to get one, huh?
Unbelievable. You go a whole game and not put the quarterback on his back, and when it matters the most, you get him.
Lincoln has missed from 51. This will be from 43 to tie it. Man, oh man. Flag is down. The ball is hooked wide left.
I think it's going to come back 5 more yards. I think instead of a 43-yard attempt, it's going to be a 48.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
And Lincoln is extremely grateful that there was a penalty on that play because he shanked that one.
He didn't get a good kick on that one. Now, the thing you're concerned a little bit about with Jeremy Lincoln, or Daniel Lincoln, a longer kick. Try to drive that ball, may not get the height that you need all the time. The longer the kick. Ryan Suckup didn't have that problem on his kick, got immediate lift and drilled it. Will Daniel Lincoln be able to do the same thing here for Tennessee?
Got a big smile on his face. That was the best penalty Tennessee has drawn tonight. Gives him a second opportunity from 48 yards. Hooking. But he got it. What a kick. Is this good or what?
The best false start penalty in Tennessee's season gives Lincoln another shot just inside the left upright.
Plenty of distance. He knocked it through. And Phillip Fulmer's got a new life.
But the play of the drive after the fumble by Foster, it looked like the game was over. Nobody gets it for South Carolina. Who falls on it? Jock McClendon, the backup offensive lineman who was in the game for the injured Eric Young, secures the football.
It's great hustle.
Gives Tennessee a chance.
Great hustle. Yes, sir, big fella. And then the kicker comes through after badly hooking his first try, but there was a penalty against Tennessee, gave him a second life, and freshman Daniel Lincoln came through in the clutch, just the way Suckup had for South Carolina. We're tied at 24 with 5 seconds left to go. Here's the squib. It's a live football. Now, you don't think that was big? If Tennessee recovers that ball, there's still 4 seconds on the clock because the clock doesn't start until it's touched by somebody.
Right. Live football.
Jeez. Is this our second overtime?
Second. The last one we did, Georgia-Alabama, ended with 1 play.
Yes, it did.
By Matthew Stafford.
And South Carolina is going to take it to overtime. And I'm going to have to think about what's going on in Britney Spears' life before we come back.
I wonder if she's watching tonight.
She got a new double wide, I heard. We'll be back in a minute. We are going to overtime, tied at 24. If you joined us late, Tennessee led 21-0 at the half. South Carolina with a miraculous, courageous comeback in the second half, then an exchange of field goals. About as much drama as we can stand. Here are the rules for overtime. We'll have a coin toss to see who goes on offense or defense first. Each team gets one possession from the 25 per overtime until the winner is decided. There's no game clock. We can go on all night. And you have to go for a two-point conversion starting with the third overtime, which makes it a little easier to decide the ball game. Well, the first couple of years you can just keep kicking.
Very well played game. Very well played game. We're now in the overtime period. There will be no clock. Each team has one timeout, and each team will get a possession from the 25-yard line. If you win the toss, you have the choice of offense, defense, or choosing an end of the field. If the score remains tied after the first overtime, the option will revert to the other team, and then we'll keep alternating. We will not toss the coin each time. Everybody understand that? Okay, South Carolina, you are the visiting team. Call it while it's in the air. Oh, excuse me. What is your call? Heads. Okay, it's call is heads. It is heads. So you've won the toss.
We're going to go defense.
We're going to defense. Which end of the field? We want to go this way. Okay, put your back.
The only overtime game for South Carolina was here in Knoxville, September 27, 2003. Lou Holtz in South Carolina faced the 8th-ranked Volunteers with only 3 points scored in the second half. The game went to overtime, tied at 17. Daniel Weaver hits a 24-yard field goal for South Carolina. Then Casey Clausen to James Banks, and Tennessee beat South Carolina in their only overtime game. They beat them 23-20. Anybody have the advantage going here, do you think?
Well, the only thing I would say why I think Tennessee might have an advantage right here is that Captain Munnerlyn is still not on the field. Had that cramp problem. That means that he's on the sideline. Addison Williams, number 7, is in the game as the other starting corner for South Carolina right now.
Ainge goes to the shotgun. Foster in motion out of the backfield. Now he's a flanker. Ainge throws short, tipped and incomplete. And that was knocked down by Marquis Hall. Let's go to Holly.
Guys, Captain Munnerlyn ran into the locker room right as seconds were ticking off in regulation. Now, I haven't been able to confirm this, but my hunch is he's gone in there to receive a quick IV. We've been down about 5 minutes. They would have time to quickly do that. He hasn't come out yet, though. Guys, I'll keep you posted.
And that's about the only thing that helps cramps.
And Holly, keep an eye on Kenny McKinley, too, because we saw him struggling with what appeared to be cramps coming off the field at the end of regulation.
Draw play. Coker has the first down at the 13-yard line. LaMarcus Coker with a good hard run picked up a dozen.
I think at this point, too, if you're Tennessee, try the middle of that defense. That defense, it's a long game. It's overtime. You're bigger, you're stronger, more physical than they are up front. Inside running sideline to sideline, tough against these guys.
Coker again, down to the 10. You know, Todd, it's a little surprising to see so many guys having trouble with cramps because it's not a hot night.
No.
But it's hard to convince kids sometimes that you've got to start drinking late in the week, not just the day of the game.
You have to stay way ahead of the game, and it's not a hot night, but it's hot action out there. That's for sure.
Ainge with good protection, throws underneath. That ball nearly came loose, and they're going to say it's down at the 10-yard line for Jeff Cottom. It was a good tackle by Cody Wells. Yeah. Cottom didn't think he was down.
Pass complete to Cottom. Number Wells.
Underneath throw for Ainge to his big tight end. Cody Wells goes for the legs, and he's down. Right knee down on the ground. Good call. Excellent tackle by Cody Wells on a bigger receiver.
Good acting job by Cottom. He was trying to sell that. Big third down here. Field goal really makes it tough on your defense if that's what you have to settle for. Pressure on Ainge up the middle, throws for the end zone, incomplete. A little too high intended for Rodgers.
And you mentioned that pressure. There was enough pressure and enough presence of pressure inside to force Ainge to let go of that ball high.
Not as much drama on this try for Lincoln as he will come on for a 27-yard field goal attempt. Well, there's just disappointment on the first possession of overtime if all you get's 3. Now you're really in jeopardy.
And that's why you choose to play defense if you win the toss, because now you've got your options open. You know what you need to win or to tie.
From near the left hash. Right through. Good job by Lincoln, and it's a 3-point lead for Tennessee.
South Carolina will go from the 25-yard line going in the same direction. Both teams will go facing the same direction, and if they go to a second overtime, they'll flip ends and go the other way.
What do you like for South Carolina's offense on this possession?
Well, I think you stay with your balance. I think you know Blake Mitchell has played smart with the football. You still have Corey Boyd, who they have had a hard time tackling tonight. But I think you be aggressive. I don't think you play for the tie. And if I know Steve Spurrier, he's not thinking tie right now. He's thinking, what's the best way to end this thing? And let's get on the plane and head back to Columbia with a W.
You saw Munnerlyn come in fresh from probably an IV.
What in the world?
Fumbled it twice, still got it to Boyd. Boyd reverses his field. He's drilled back at the 30. Boy, they messed that one up.
Well, Blake Mitchell just couldn't catch the ball. The ball came to him, and he bobbled it, dropped it. Look, good snap. Just bobble, drop, pick up, bobble. Oh, man, that could have been disastrous.
Well, it didn't turn out too well. No matter what, they lost 5 yards. Giving the Tennessee faithful a lot of hope. Mitchell with time, throws underneath, complete to Freddie Brown. Brown's got the yardage back, plus a couple that they lost on first down, and it'll be a huge third down for them.
Nice job by Blake Mitchell getting some of that yardage back on second down, giving yourself a chance on third down.
Boy, he's had the performance of his life tonight off the bench in relief of Chris Smelley. .31 out of 44, 291 yards. Pressure coming for the end zone. Intended for McKinley, and McKinley fighting those cramps. And he is slow to get up here. Now they'll have to go for the tying field goal.
McKinley had a shot at this. He had his man beat. Ball just sails over his head. But he was open. The safety, Berry, not able to get there. And Mitchell knew he had a chance to end it on that throw.
Now Succop with another pressure kick, this time from 40. And those cramps, they just eat you up. And unless he gets the same kind of treatment that Captain Munnerlyn did, he is probably not going to be able to come back in this ball game. Assuming that that's what put him down there in the first place.
Well, check this. This is Kenny McKinley. He's going to run a corner route, and he is going to be open. He's going to get by the corner, and the safety, Eric Berry, number 14, is going to try to come over and help, but he's open right now. If he gets the ball, it's for sure a first down and quite possibly a touchdown. But Blake Mitchell The ball sailed on him, and McKinley not able to come up with it.
And you could tell his leg was giving him a problem right at the end of that route. And look at this. He cannot put any pressure on his legs at all. They're going to have to drag him to the locker room. Now, if they go a couple of more overtimes, he may have a chance to come back.
But how was he so open is what I
There's the good question. Well, it's because this secondary is like 94th in the country in pass defense. To tie from 41 yards. Missed it. Tennessee wins. And they control their own destiny in the SEC East. What a killer for South Carolina. After a marvelous comeback, they lose it in overtime, 27-24. Here's Holly.
Coach, you got your freshman in there to get it to overtime. What was going through your mind?
A freshman kicker?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's had one heck of a year, man. It's just unbelievable. We jumped off sides and he hooks the damn thing, and then we get another shot at it. Unbelievable. Great effort by these kids.
Tell us a little bit about that second drive there in overtime, what you guys were trying to do.
We're trying to get a touchdown because we wasn't sure we were going to be able to stop them, but again, the kicker steps up and does a great job. These kids deserve this. We've had one heck of a struggle at different times getting things the way we wanted them, but they haven't quit. They have been really, really a gutsy group, and I love them to death.
Coach, you guys lost the momentum in the second half. How did you hang on to even get it to overtime?
I said to you coming off, I said we won't lose it, but God, we lost. We couldn't do anything offensively. Our defense, which is really beat up, hung in there great. I mean, they kept us in it. And when the wheel is good, when the wheel is there, you got a chance to be successful. It's been a great bunch of young men.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Holly, thanks very much. Let's go back to the field goal, and it was Suckup who hit the field goal that gave them a shot at overtime. Just hung this one out to the right and then never came back.
Yeah, snap looked good, hold looked good, just pushed it right from the very beginning.
Tale of two sidelines right there. Bo Garrett and Scott Johnson working down in the truck. Brilliant job tonight as always. The final in overtime, 27-24. Over on ESPN News Postgame Extra. Sports Center comes up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night from Knoxville, Tennessee.